Hello, fiends. Holly here. This week, we're bringing you a repost with purpose because this case has had an update. Before I get to what that means, I have to say that Katelin's case is one that has remained very close to our hearts. Talking with Lisa, Katelin's mom, and then going on to watch her persistence in the years after the episode aired made a huge impact on Leslie and I. So here is the update. On Friday, April 10th, James Branton was taken into custody with assistance from the Virginia State Police. According to multiple local news reports, quote, James Branton, 46, is now facing 2 counts of aggravated sexual battery, 2 counts of taking indecent liberties with a child in a custodial relationship, 2 counts of indecent exposure of a child, and 2 counts of child cruelty. The offense dates start in June 2006, according to the police, and Katelin is listed as one of his victims, end quote. Before we move forward with what all of that means, yes, there are 2 victims listed. No, the other victim does not want to talk about their ordeal at this time. They have done a great deal of work to recover from the trauma in their past and would like us all to focus our attention on Katelin right now. That said, we think they are incredibly brave for any disclosures they made that may have led to this arrest and wish them only healing, safety, and continued justice. So what do those charges mean, and can they link them to Katelin's disappearance? Well, it would appear so. At least we hope so. These charges are for past, sustained child sexual and physical abuse upon children that James was legally responsible for at that time. For those of you who may have forgotten, James is Katelin's ex-stepfather. The offenses began in 2006, specifically at the time when James moved in with Katelin and her family, and according to court documents, they continue through the time he moved out in 2011. Katelin is listed as one of these victims, and James is currently being held without bond and awaiting trial. Now, I don't think these kinds of charges can be issued based solely on a disclosure or an anonymous tip, or even a report from a single witness. Usually, you can't have a person arrested on serious charges without evidence. So what that means to me is that they have some pretty compelling stuff. I can't be certain in that, but that's just historically what we have seen in 5 years of doing this podcast. Now, what I really hope this means is that someone finally got into his encrypted cell phone. I don't know if that is the case, but man, I really hope it is. And this also means that whatever evidence they have is finally cause enough for a judge to approve a search warrant for all 3 of James's properties. And I think one may be a former property, but I'm not sure. Now, they can search these properties, according to documents, for evidence that might indicate him in Katelin's disappearance. And more importantly, they have been able to extensively search the properties for human remains. This evidence, whatever it may be, whatever they have right now, I should say, was also enough for James to be considered either a flight risk or a danger to the public, and thus he was denied bail. According to the Fredericksburg Free Press, quote, James Branton isn't charged in the disappearance of Katelin Akens, but he is the prime suspect. Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Colonel Delbert Myrick told the Free Press Thursday, he is the primary suspect at this time, but potentially not our only suspect, Myrick said. Investigators searched 3 properties linked to Branton earlier this week and did not locate Akens' remains. Quote, in addition to the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office, the Virginia State Police, the FBI, and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management participated in the search. The investigation was also aided by the George Mason University Police Department, which loaned drone equipment and other technology to the effort. So this is very serious searching. The search team used excavators, ground-penetrating radar, and other high-tech equipment, but to no avail. Quote, there were some things for them to follow up on and some search warrants to do as a result of the search, but at this time she was not found, end quote, Myrick said. Quote, to be honest, we were just making sure we're doing our due diligence because one of the properties was the last place she was seen. Start there and work other places, but it's definitely very active. I'm not going to say it wasn't fruitful. It's definitely gaining more traction and more attention moving forward, end quote. Now, some articles do also present more graphic descriptions of the abuse, but we are not comfortable sharing those details at this time. They do, however, demonstrate a clear pattern of violence that James carried out on Katelin. With all of those developments, Katelin's case has thankfully been reinvigorated. Our episode is full of information and an interview with Katelin's mom, Lisa. And I have to say, it is maddening to listen to Lisa, who knows exactly what needed to happen, lay out what detectives should have been doing at the time, and now, years later, watch it slowly come to fruition in real time. I wish they could have listened to her years ago, but the law is fickle and it is complicated and often frustrating. So, we're going to keep watching things unfold, and we will keep you abreast of any and all updates to come. But for now, send all of your good energy out to Katelin's family, and please share this episode because you never know who could be listening. If you have any information pertinent to the disappearance of Katelin Akens, please contact the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office at 1-800-928-5822 or 540-582-5822. And with that, here is our original episode. Take it away, Past Holly. It's nice out today. I see the sun peeking through the windows, and I imagine how nice it would be to plant some flowers in my yard for a change. It would be nice to do a lot of things, but that's not in the cards today. It's Tuesday, and so I sit in this dingy room with the awful fluorescent lighting until someone acknowledges me. And it takes a while. Sitting in the lobby of a police station is not how most people would elect to spend their Tuesday afternoons, but I am not most people. As I sit here patiently, as I do every week, I wonder if there are other mothers who come in as often as I do. I guess there are kids who get in trouble a lot, and I can't help but think about how lucky they are. I would give anything to have a child who simply got in trouble. Trouble is temporary. I'm waiting to ask the detectives working on our case if they have any updates. At first I thought they would simply call me when anything new came in, but that was 3 years ago and I'm not so trusting anymore. It's quiet today, which is nice for a change. Busy in a police station is never good news. It's almost nice to sit in the quiet. If I were anywhere else in the world, this would be a vacation. But all of that changes the second a young woman bursts through the double doors completely breathless. She is clutching a photo and shouting for help. Her eyes are wild and unfocused. Her emotions are crawling across her skin in vibrant red patches. I know exactly what's wrong. I can tell before she even opens her mouth. I would know this anywhere. This woman can't find her child. The panic is palpable. It comes off her in hot waves that I can feel from my seat. It's like standing next to an oven when the door is opened. I wonder if anyone else can feel it. I don't even realize that I've gotten up out of my seat. The man at the front desk tells this woman that she has to calm down, and her eyes turn black at the insanity of his suggestion. There is nothing in the world that would calm her down right now, and there shouldn't be. I bet he doesn't have children. The man then gently guides her a few steps away. I can see her showing him a photo of a young girl holding a gray cat. The woman is frantically gesturing to the photo, and the man can tell she isn't getting any calmer, so he takes her into a back room. I am still here, in my Tuesday spot, waiting when she comes back out. But now she looks different. Her limbs have gone slack, and the redness on her skin has dissolved. The woman's eyes are hollow. I can tell from experience that this is from a mixture of disbelief and an emotion between sadness and anger that should have a name but doesn't. I approach her after the officer who took my statement has gone back into his office. I put my hand on her shoulder and say, "Is that your daughter in the picture?" She nods, unable to make words, and I go on. "She's very pretty." The woman looks up at me, momentarily taken out of her daze by the automatic pride and politeness that every parent has when you compliment their child. "Thank you," she says. "She loves that damn cat." I take her hand and look in her eyes and say, "She's missing, isn't she?" The woman's eyes fill with tears, and I know she feels an emotion between relief and sadness that also does not have a name. When she looks back at me, she says, "Yes, she is. I'm so scared." "They told you she ran away, didn't they?" I say, knowing that the answer is yes. The woman nods in affirmation and goes on. "They said we should do nothing, say nothing. They said that runaways almost always come home, and I have nothing to worry about. I told them, she's not a runaway, I know her." And one of the cops laughed and said that sometimes they see an open door and they can't resist. I think they thought I was talking about the cat. I tried to explain that I was talking about my daughter. The girl in the picture is missing. The stupid cat is fine. But they had stopped listening at that point. Before I knew what was happening, they were pointing me to the door. They wouldn't even take the picture. They just brought me out here, walked away, and now I'm talking to you. I came here to find my daughter, and somehow I reported a missing cat. "No, you didn't," I say as gently as possible. "That's not how they treat cats. It's how they treat girls." I squeeze her hand and hear my name called from behind the desk. "I'm up," I say, taking a deep breath and releasing her from the only lifeline I could provide in that moment. "Stay strong," I say over my shoulder as I walk toward the desk. "We can't give up." Right now in the United States, there are 194,673 reported missing girls and women under 21, and that only accounts for the time that has elapsed since January 1st. According to national statistics, by the end of the year, there will be twice as many. 91% of these women and girls are classified as runaways. And if they are over 18, this is no longer a crime. It's comforting to assume that these women and girls just decided to go somewhere else. But ask their families how many of them actually did that, and I think you'll get a vastly lower percentage. I don't need to tell you about the dangers that exist for a young woman who falls off the grid. We are taught to be afraid. You never know when the worst might happen. But when it does, that fear that we are supposed to have, that vigilance that we are taught from childhood, is an overreaction. Our girls are precious. We should keep them safe. Stop blaming them for the monsters lying in wait. There is no other prey on the planet that is blamed for being caught. That's not how they treat cats. It's how they treat girls. We need to believe these families. We need to give these girls the importance they deserve. We need to find them. All of them. I'm Holly.
I'm Leslie.
And we would be dead. I know, every time we talk about the astronomical amount of missing women and girls in this country, or in general, it sends shivers down my spine. There's just too fucking many.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hey Leslie.
Hey Holly.
Hey Fiends. Well, what a surprising and enlightening week. Well, 2 weeks at this point. We have had over here at We Would Be Dead quarters. A few months ago, we got a case request from one of our fiends, a woman named Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hey, girl.
Amber asked that we cover the disappearance of a young woman from Virginia named Katelin Akens. Amber had worked with Katelin and her mother for a brief period of time, and she asked for our help. Katelin's family was looking to get as many eyes and ears on her case as possible. So this week, we decided we would do our bit and cover it. It was an easy decision, really. I'm making it out to be like something I had to think about. We didn't have to think about it at all. It was just a matter of when we could do it.
Right.
I remember when you sent this to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to do it, but like, life happens a lot.
Yeah.
So when I began my research, I reached out to Amber, who is a rock star, and asked if she might give us a small statement about what Katelin was like as a person. Just like you worked with her, you knew her. What was she like? What did she do? What were her favorite things? Well, she did way more than that. Amber connected me to Lisa Sullivan, Katelin's mother, and subsequently we were able to interview Lisa and her sister Pam, Lisa's sister, not Katelin's, and find out so much more about this case than is available in any other media outlet. And we have that in the recording from Lisa and Pam. This is the most they've told anyone.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to want to listen to the end on this one. Lisa is great, and we were so thrilled to be able to talk to her. And then we got Pam as a surprise bonus.
Yeah.
Also
hey,
great. I know. Hey, Pam. Thanks, girl. So for the first time ever on We Would Be Dead, and hopefully not the last, you will get to hear directly from our main character's family, which is arguably the most important source we will ever be connected with.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty exciting for us. In addition to covering Katelin's story today, we are asking you, our fiends, to share her missing flyer and any information we put out there about this case, because somebody knows something. We just need to find them or her, honestly. So I will put out our photo sweep, but then I'm going to also independently put out a post that is just Katelin's missing poster so that it's easily shareable with like a small synopsis of her case to just kind of have a little thing that we all can put out there in the world. Put it on your Instagram story, put it on your Facebook, put it on any social media you can. Just get it out there. Katelin's family has done a huge amount of work on their own. More work than any of us even knew until we talked to Lisa.
Yeah, that was wild.
It is insane how much work they've put in. I mean, they really have. And it's been 6.5 years, so they've had a while to do it. They've done far more work than should have been expected of them.
Yes.
They did things like, aren't other people supposed to be doing this?
Right. They were the ones following like rabbit trails.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, any kind of lead that came in, you better believe it was Lisa and Pam and their family that was following it. I was so impressed by that.
Which I feel like also in turn probably helped other people find.
Yeah, it could have. It sure could have helped other families find like, okay, well, this is a dead end here, but we found out all this stuff, so one never can tell. So what we need to do is step up and give them any and all support that we have to offer. Plus, I bragged about you guys a lot, so don't make me look dumb, okay?
Yeah.
Make us look good. We said you were awesome. And speaking of looks, I have been so tired recently. You know, I'm just not sleeping well. And I think it's really giving me that hollow, saggy rag look that won't be appropriate until at least September.
Yeah.
When
Nobody likes a saggy rag.
No, but like when we get to sort of Halloween time, like you can play it off. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need to do something fast, though, so I don't look like a dried out mummy in the presence of all the hot beach moms around me here at the Jersey Shore this summer.
Ugh, Jersey Shore.
Ugh,
Shooby.
Hot beach moms. I have lived in New Jersey my entire life, and that is what people call it. It's the shore. You go down the shore.
Ew.
That is the act. You can ugh all you want, Connecticut, but that's the phraseology. I'm sorry.
It's the beach.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm so sorry. It's not to anybody who grew up here. It's the shore.
To everybody that grows up here calls it the beach.
When you go to the actual sandy place with the...
Yeah. If you're coming down here as a shooby. Yeah.
No, if you're going to this area, this whole area is the shore.
To other people outside.
To people who live in the state.
No.
It's the shore. I went to the Jersey Shore
here.
every summer my entire life. And when we went for a couple weeks, we went down the shore.
Because you didn't live here.
No, I didn't live here.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm local enough.
You came to the shore because you had to come here.
Right.
People that live here go to the beach.
Yeah, because I'm going to argue that one till the end of time.
Okay, you can go on the Cape May Locals website.
Even when I was on vacation, if I was already here in this area, I would say, okay, now I'm going to the beach. And I would go to the sandy place with the ocean.
Right, because you were going to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm living down here, that's when I go there.
Right.
But if someone says, where are you from in New Jersey? I say, I'm from the shore.
Ew.
You can ooh all you want, but it's real. I will fist fight about this.
All right.
Back me up, people. I don't fight you on Connecticut shit. Leave me alone.
Because you weren't from Connecticut.
And you're not from here.
I'm here now.
But you're not from here.
If you lived in Connecticut for any span of time, we could have a few words.
I would never. You were there longer. I would never distrust you.
I'm just saying.
I would always believe you.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Anyway, I have heard about a miracle cure for mummy face, though. So when I'm at the beach, I don't get upset. It might just be a myth, but I need to give it a try because I'm 40 and this is a time in life when women become super open to like alternative options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're like, something else has to work.
Yeah.
So why not, right? Do you want to know what this magical cure is?
I do.
I know you're like, have no idea and you're really excited.
I have no idea.
Just one sugary spoonful of
validation, a hill we're dying on.
Just like the term Jersey Shore, which is a hill I will die on. And what? Look!
Oh my God.
Our friends can help us get some of this, not the Jersey Shore validation. But how, you might be asking yourself?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Simply head on over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and or a friendly review. It really is the only way to move this podcast forward. And we really, 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 really want to move forward. Trying, man.
Yeah, it's really unhealthy to go backwards.
It is. Don't do it. Like, you don't go back to your exes?
Yeah.
Don't go back on anything.
Never go backwards in a relationship.
Mm-mm.
So that's why, like, you take your time going forward, but we're taking our time.
Yeah, like, don't drive backwards.
Yeah.
You could get in an accident.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, like, we got to go forwards.
Yeah.
Perfect. And if you want even more We Would Be Dead in your life, you can support us over on Patreon, where for just a small monthly donation, you gain access to our weekly video after show postmortem, and they have been juicy recently.
So juicy.
We've been doing a good job, like, getting into extra case stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We keep our mouths shut here and we save it.
Yeah.
So hard.
We will continue this discussion about the shore and the beach.
We have 100 more other way juicier things to talk about. Like, we have stuff I can't wait to talk about.
That's true.
So we also have some extra mini-sodes, all of our episodes of 30-minute horror movies. We're going to be posting some giveaways, merch opportunities. You will also get a gift from us in the mail, an on-air toast dedicated just to you, and more. And we do mean more because we have more coming. We're working it out. And if all of that is a little much for you, you can simply follow us on social media. We are at Would Be Dead Pod everywhere, but especially Instagram. Please help us get to the point where, like, maybe we could add a link or swipe up. Swipe up is a lot, but we're going to get there. I have so many things you could swipe up on. They're all so interesting. You won't know that unless you get us some more follows, though. So,
yeah,
get in there. You can also share anything we post, like everything we post, every single thing. Post about your favorite episode. Tell us when you're listening. Tell a friend. Tell a neighbor. Tell the person you buy possibly illegal fireworks from for your 4th of July celebration. What's their name? Shady fireworks dealer.
Carl.
Carl's already walking his dog, but he also sells fireworks. Can we just add on to his bio, though?
Yeah. Yeah, he walks his dog.
And he has conversations with you that are too long.
You just, like, casually walk out. Yeah, which you find out that he, like, has illegal fireworks.
In his backyard.
In his backyard. Yep.
I love Shady Carl.
Yep, and sometimes the neighborhood kids get into that stash.
And they are
not good.
Popping off fireworks,
good,
scaring dogs.
Usually keeps them real locked up, but sometimes they get in there.
Sometimes Carl, has one too many freaking Paps. That's what he drinks. I was going for, like, what's the cheapest beer?
Yeah.
Natty Ice or whatever.
Yeah, but Pabst is good, yeah.
Yeah, so he's drinking that and then, like...
Because he's not a college student.
No, he's clearly a full adult.
Yeah.
With, like, a couple divorces behind him.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then your friends and Carl, why not?
Yeah.
Can become fiends and we can all hang out together. Along with our case this week, we are going to be debuting our long-anticipated Not a Runaway merchandise, which we have kind of pitched around the idea about this before. And what we are going to do with this is that every month we will take a portion of the proceeds from anything you buy with the Not a Runaway logo on it. I don't know what we're going to put it on. We'll figure it out. And we will donate this to a missing persons case of the moment, a different one every month. So we'll try and dedicate our time and funds and some of our social media reach to cases that need all of those things. So if you buy Not a Runaway merch, know that your money's going to a good place and you'll be able to share whatever foundation it is we are donating to that month too. So look for that and a better explanation, because this is really just the beginning of this. I really see it snowballing further and doing more good in its future.
I love snowballs.
And good. And future.
Yeah.
So perfect. All right. Well, Leslie, do you have anything to add before we begin?
Well, no, not this week.
Nothing.
Nothing. Got nothing.
Been a while. We're just got to get back in the hang of it.
I had something last week, but then we didn't record, so
I'm dying of
yeah.
nerve compression in my neck. Sorry, guys. I'm figuring it out. Anyway, all right then. On with the show. So this week is going to work just a little bit differently since we have an interview to share with you. Since timelines are important with this one, we will tell you Katelin's story straight through, and then we will play our interview for you. Lisa and Pam gave us so much additional information. So make sure you listen carefully all the way through, and then you can get like everything. If you simply Google Katelin's name, the related search suggestions you are going to find will lead you astray a little bit. You know how Google says, like, maybe you want to know this. Well, those titles are Katelin Akens found, Katelin Akens found 2021, Katelin Akens found 2022, Katelin Akens suspect. This paints the picture of a story full of answers, but that's not what we have today, unfortunately. First of all, I shouldn't even have to say this, but Katelin is still missing, and no, there aren't any, like, solid suspects. There are persons of interest, but I don't know that we can call them suspects because there isn't a definable crime. Suspect is a legal word. There is certainly person that is being considered, as I said, but that's different. So just keep that in mind if you're the kind of person who likes to Google along. Okay. Katelin Michelle Akens was born on September 2nd, 1996 in Goshen, Indiana, to her mother, Lisa, and her biological father, not to be named. Her biological father is never mentioned. Again, like, he's only a brief appearance, so there's really no need for me to, like, blow him up and find out who he was. So a few short years after Katelin is born, her sister Gabby comes along, and the two were instantly inseparable. Lisa's family, that's Katelin's mom, is all very close, and this is very evident from watching her and her sister together, and you'll hear them talk. There are lots of strong women supporting one another in this family, which we love to see. Yeah. It seems very woman-driven, basically. When Katelin was just 3, Lisa and Katelin and Gabby's biological dad split up. He was never in contact with them afterwards. I think that it was his idea. I'm not 100% sure. But again, he never comes up again. He never talks to anybody again. So we thank him for the cool kids and say goodbye. Lisa and the girls did fine on their own for a time. They moved from Indiana to Virginia, where Lisa quickly got a job. And her family was all nearby there, so she could have more help with the kids when she needed it, which is valuable when you have like very young children. The girls did well in school and were healthy and happy. No red flags, nothing went bad, everything's fine. Then around 2003-2004, love came calling for Lisa once again. When Katelin was 7 and Gabby was 4, that puts us in about 2004, Lisa married a man named James Branton. Lisa and the girls then moved into his house in Spotsylvania County, Virginia, where the meat of this story will eventually go on to take place. Spotsylvania is a fun name, isn't it?
It sure is.
It sounds whimsical.
Yeah.
It may be the first time some of you guys are hearing it. It wasn't for me, though. Had you ever heard of Spotsylvania before?
No.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But, well, before this incident I'm going to talk about, one of my college roommates was actually from Spotsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah. And as the 18-year-old vying for independence that he was when I met him, he definitely viewed it as a quiet, rural place that he was eager to escape in favor of the fast-paced city life in Philadelphia. He was very like, nothing ever happens there. It's so small, so woodsy, so boring, which is something an 18-year-old is always going to say.
Yeah.
So I went into this case with that in the back of my mind. It is more than possible for young people there to get antsy and want to try something new. But that's true of any place, really. I would say I felt some of that. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like wanting to be somewhere different and, you know. But I think this location is particularly quiet and rural. Spotsylvania County has 143,676 people within its county limits, but remember, that's the whole county, and was named after a man named Alexander Spotswood, who was the lieutenant governor of Virginia back when it was just a little baby colony.
Oh,
cute. It is rich in history and scenic riverbanks. Spotsy, as it's called by locals, is just a little over an hour drive from Washington, D.C., technically. However, anyone who has done this drive will tell you that traffic can make it much longer. Leslie, didn't you tell me a story about this stretch of road like stranding people in a snowstorm?
Yeah, we had like the snowpocalypse this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that road that got shut down for like 27 hours. Like, I think like I don't know if it was the governor or maybe the governor, but like people were stuck on that like that stretch of highway road for, I think it was 26 or 27 hours or something during that snowpocalypse. But
I was stuck on a highway for 6 hours when we drove to the boondocks of Pennsylvania to get Dipper. Yeah. I can't imagine adding 20 hours.
I know.
In the freezing cold.
I know.
Holy shit. So that's some serious jamming up of traffic.
Yeah, I think that's not normal.
No. No, it's probably out of the ordinary. No. But Spotsylvania's Wikipedia is so short that I have to assume not much happens around there on a regular basis these days. And you know as well as I, when we look up a location, it usually has like a ton of stuff. When it's short, not a very eventful place. Mm-hmm. But Spotsylvania was known as the crossroads of the Civil War due to the fact that so many battles were fought there. In fact, General Stonewall Jackson was killed by friendly fire in Spotsylvania County. So like his own men, accidentally. Good times. Mm. In Civil War times, things were quite busy there, but I think that perhaps the people of Spotsylvania County felt that that was more than enough. Thank you very much. And then after that, everyone just kind of settled down. Mm-hmm. So it was a wild time. We all need a rest. Go look at a river and take a nap. But while it may frustrate city-forward young adults to live in a place like this, a quiet place to live is exactly what most people want if they have a young family. And so Lisa, James, and the girls were able to have a rather quiet life there for a time. James seemed to be a great addition to the family in the beginning. He was an involved stepdad, going to school concerts, dance recitals, and family vacations. He helped with homework and gave rides to and from school. So he was an active presence. Like, people would know that he was the girls' dad and he was there for everything, you know? James was the only father figure the girls had ever known, as they were too young to remember their biological father. And so they kind of viewed him as a dad, obviously. And they did. James and the girls had a good relationship for a while. And nothing is out of the ordinary here in this beginning part. But as the years went by, James began to change. Lisa described him as a person who thought he was always right. And for what it's worth, James is also pretty tech-savvy and an early adopter, which means that somebody who gets like every new released product as soon as it's released. Yeah. Like, we all have that friend that's like, a new iPhone comes out next week and I already have them order in. Yeah. Except for he didn't like Apple products because he didn't trust them. So also something to be known. So the family all had Android products. And Lisa mentions in more than just our interview that they had the Android phones with a slide-out keyboard, like as soon as they're released. Mm-hmm. Which to anyone our age is going to register as like, oh, that was like a cool thing to have.
It was the coolest. Never got one.
I didn't either. If you had that phone where you could like pop out the keyboard, yeah, you were very cool. I think the coolest phone
what was that, like a Kick? Wasn't it like a Kick or something?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I don't know. It was something cool though.
It was something very cool. I think the coolest phone I had when I was young was like a magenta Razor.
I never got a Razor either. And that looked cool because the buttons were like
flush. It was all flat.
Big and flat, yeah.
They didn't work that well, but they did look cool. Yeah. They were very slick. They had that metallic finish too. But other than that, I went right to iPhones. Although I think I had a BlackBerry for a little while, but not when it was cool, when everyone else had iPhones and I had a BlackBerry. Less cool.
No, I had a flip phone for so long.
Oh, so did I. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But but James and Lisa and their family, they had the cool phones. Mm-hmm. This tells you something about a person that immediately gets those things. They're into that. James's love of technology is also relevant, so it's worth mentioning early and often. Hobby-wise, the only thing James needed to do for enjoyment was play video games. He also, I've been told, had several cell phones at all times. This is apparently a practice some people keep, which I did not know. Do you know people that have backup cell phones?
No.
Yeah, apparently he had backups just in case anything happened, which to me is strange. Now, I have no reason to believe there was anything suspicious with these alternate cell phones, but again, I'm just pointing something out as an outsider that I personally take note of.
Yeah. I mean, I have known people who have had other cell phones, but...
Were they like business though?
Either business or like a drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Drug dealers do have extra cell phones. I'm not saying that that's what he was.
No, but that's just all Yeah,
or like even people, like I've had friends that work in like, say, like construction or the tech industry where they have an extra one where people can get in touch with them for that. Like, but that's not what he did. So.
Or they have someone else that they're talking to.
Or they have like a burner phone, because they have more than one relationship or whole entire family in some cases.
But I guess, but his were like backup phone. Like,
well, his main phone was always an Android, and he would get the kind that he would totally wipe all the factory settings off of and then add his own encrypted operating system. This is something I guess a lot of people will do for added, according to what the internet has told me, privacy, security, or like you said, to like kind of download stuff for free and not be tracked.
Yeah.
It seems a little tinfoil hatty to me, like something you might do if you were really afraid the government was watching your every move. I could be wrong. Also, I'm very boring, so nobody wants to read my shit.
Right. So I have known other people that do this kind of thing, and I would say on how Lisa was talking about James, it sounds like if he is a techie guy, it's kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that's what she said. I mean, you guys will hear it later, but she kind of says like he did it because he could.
Exactly.
But it also strikes me as something one might do if they had something to hide. But that's just my opinion. Just putting it in the world. There are lots of people who just want to know that their private life is going to be kept private. I get that. And I hope none of them have Alexa because she hears everything.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
You know how many people are going to have this playing and their Alexa is going to go off?
Yeah.
More than one.
Alexa.
Oh no, now she's definitely going to go off. Oh, other than that, we know that James is not an incredibly social guy. This is quoted in several places, and Lisa says it directly to us. He has just one friend and a strong relationship with his mom.
Yeah.
I kind of love this image.
I know. I also like when it's, I've also heard, and he has one other friend, but I don't think they're friends anymore.
This is not like a close, wonderful friend. This is like one guy he might hang out with sometimes. And James's mother was a woman who Lisa did not have a strong relationship with. It would seem that she kind of saw Lisa as competition for a time. Lisa goes into this in our interview. She does mention that she felt that James left his mother to be with Lisa.
Okay.
Which is a common, like, mom, not common. That's not like a good thing for moms to feel. But we've heard this before in cases where a mom will get hyper jealous of a son's wife or girlfriend because they feel like they're being replaced.
Right.
So these mothers kind of see their son's romantic interest as competition.
Yeah, I guess I never asked if James is, I mean, I guess I'm assuming, is James an only child?
I don't.
Yeah, I guess we never.
I think he must be.
Yeah, because that would make sense to me then too.
Yeah, with the mother. I read an article that mentions his father because he inherited some of the property he owns, because he owns a lot of property, which we'll also talk about later, from his father after he died. So I think his father is gone. But I've never encountered one source that mentioned any siblings. Does that mean there aren't any? It absolutely doesn't. But it doesn't mean that there are. So we can confirm at a later date. But if there are, they are not involved in any of this at all. Lisa did say, though, that Katelin was James's mother's favorite. You can hear, she'll go more into this in the interview, but she said that, the mother would occasionally watch the girls, and she did seem to like Katelin the best. So clearly they knew her well enough. There was something there. She may not have been like a super involved grandma, but she was there. As the years went by, though, James himself began to withdraw. The girls and Lisa became seemingly more of an aggravator to him than anything else. James would be home less and less, and he stopped attending family meals, school events, and vacations. He only saw Lisa and the girls for maybe a Spartan couple hours a week. And Lisa says this to us and in several other sources, that they maybe saw him for 2 hours a week near the end, which is not a lot when you compare it to like the involved dad he seemed to be before this. James had become angry and argumentative, and he was always like picking on them and yelling at them and criticizing the things that they did. He was a volatile presence, angry and depressed. Their home had become a dark place. The family began walking on eggshells whenever James was around, which is so not a healthy way to live. In fact, it was easier when he wasn't there at all. Now, this is a pretty good indicator that a marriage should be over. If your spouse is causing you an enormous amount of anxiety and your children the same, you're going to start to think, maybe we need to get out of here. And seeing that it was no longer a healthy place for her or her children, Lisa divorced James and moved to Katelin County, Virginia. And I think this move was in order to be closer to her family. And this would have happened in about 2010. Though James and Lisa divorced, James realized, I suppose after the fact, that he did not want to give up his relationship with the girls. Again, this is like 6 years of time that he logged with these two children and had been for a time very close to. And this would probably be a lot easier to swallow if he had been nicer to them in the end. But it's hard to tell what was going on in his head. James was never evaluated by a mental health professional. We learned later that mental illness does run in his family, but that he refused to be evaluated by anyone and did not like the idea of therapy. Lisa said he agreed to go to a single session of marriage counseling, but when they finished, he was like, okay, I'm done. That's all. So I don't know. To me, it is a bit curious to have someone in this very dark, very angry place, and then they snap out of it.
Yeah.
That's not like, the way things work when you're having the best time ever.
Right.
So I wondered, and we do ask Lisa about this, so you'll get to hear about it in the interview afterwards. I cannot help but wonder what's going on there. What's going on with this person?
Yes.
So after the divorce, James told Lisa that he would still be there for them no matter what. It took about a year for him to regain trust, though, especially with the girls, because he had been so downright difficult and scary. I mean, you don't want to trust that guy, especially as a kid. But James was true to his word. He seemed almost better after the marriage had ended. He still came to birthdays and dance recitals. He was there with Christmas gifts, and he even helped pay the bills if they ever needed help. James and Katelin slowly returned to having a good father-daughter style relationship. And honestly, there were no red flags at this point. No one would have had any cause for concern. I personally have never really come across an ex-step-parent that stayed this involved. But as humans, generally, we try not to be too suspicious of kindness or helpfulness either.
Right.
So this is what is going to make the events that happen later all the more confusing. After the move to Katelin County, Katelin enrolled in Katelin County High School. And she was academically inclined, so school came very easy to her, and she excelled in all of her classes. She also had a supportive friend group at school, and as a teenager, discovering who she was, she loved finding out ways to stand out in a crowd. Katelin expressed herself in a lot of ways, but the most talked about one was probably her hair, which is always a different color. You'll see pictures of it like straight and then blunt cut. It's pink, it's blue, it's got black spots in it, it's highlighted, it's short, it's long, and always like pin straight. She had that like scene look going on for a little while. She wasn't afraid to try something new with her appearance. She also had quite a few piercings. She had a bunch in her face and tattoos. I would describe her aesthetic, like I said, as kind of like punk or emo-y looking, but fun. One of the things that she likes on Facebook, because I looked at all of her Facebook likes, is pastel goth.
Oh,
so I was like, there it is.
Yep, that's it.
That captures you very well. None of her photos show like a grimace or that like teenage, like, don't look at me face or an eye roll or like a middle finger or anything.
No.
They're all just her like happy and smiling and
very
happy.
pastel.
And very like cute, but also maybe a little edgy.
Yeah.
Which I get it.
Yeah, she was cute.
She was very cute. Is very cute. Now, as I mentioned, Katelin had a comfortable group of friends at Katelin County High School, but she also had friends back in Spotsylvania. Now, these are neighboring locations, not far away from one another. But when you're a kid and you don't drive, it can put a real damper on a friendship. Katelin, however, was always very good at keeping in touch with the people who were important to her. And this is something to remember. And she did just that, specifically with a girl named Amber. Amber Rios had lived down the block from Katelin and her family back when they were living with James. Amber was a bit older than Katelin, so they weren't in the same grade in school, but they had met in their neighborhood and gotten along very, very well. The girls quickly became very close friends. However, when Katelin was 12 and Amber then would have been about 14, so we're talking about around the year 2008, Amber and her family moved to Lake Havasu, Arizona. This, however, did not hurt their girls' friendship at all. They stayed very close and they stayed in contact through phone calls and text messages. At this point, they both have cell phones and on social media, and they even got to visit. By the summer of 2010, Amber and Katelin had discovered their relationship was evolving into something more than friendship, and the two began dating. Now, I know what you're all thinking. This is rural and possibly rather conservative Virginia. How did this go over with Katelin's family? Was it a struggle coming out? Well, all signs point to no. And it really did go just fine. Lisa and her family have said it in repeated interviews. As long as Katelin was happy, that's all that mattered. Lisa specifically said to the Oxygen Network show Disappeared, quote, "I'd rather be happy than make her choose someone else." And she did. She chose happiness, which is kind of a big deal, I think. Like, she was like, I just want to be happy for my child's happiness, so I don't want to mess with any of this.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is easy to say in retrospect, but there is proof there. There are lots of supportive messages on social media from Lisa when it came to Katelin and Amber. There are posts where Lisa tags Amber or comments on what she has to say, and lots of likes and general good-natured stuff. And through a deep but completely public and on the up-and-up dive of Facebook, I found lots of posts where Amber talked about staying with Katelin, Gabby, and Lisa in Virginia. It mentions Lisa picking her up at the airport, spending time with the girls, etc. And Katelin was out and proud. She was not quietly out. She made no attempts to hide who she was. She and Amber were very publicly affectionate. There is absolutely no indication that there was any issue with Katelin's sexual identity or who she chose to spend her life with whatsoever. Reddit loves to wonder about this. But it's pretty easy to cross-check if you try even the littlest bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember us going into this first wondering that part. Yeah. And then we quickly were like, no, they were
fine.
They were all happy.
They were all quite supportive, and publicly so.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be said that my cross-checking has nothing to do with the integrity of Katelin's family and everything to do with shutting down the "but what if" section of the comments.
Exactly.
Now that we have that out of the way, back to Caroline County High School. Katelin easily passed her classmates academically, often taking extra classes to get ahead. And so she came to her mother and asked if it would be all right if she graduated early. Lisa told her that that would be fine because as long as she graduated, she could go about it however she liked. Totally get that. A lot of people asked why Katelin did this, and I was one of them. According to everyone who knew her, Katelin just really wasn't interested in school. Lisa said this to us and many other sources that she just was done with it. She didn't love going. She felt over the whole thing and just wanted to buckle down and get it done. I would say that kids are always in such a hurry to grow up, but there are also those who generally just do not enjoy school.
Right.
It does happen. And I guess if you have the brains to circumnavigate that, more power to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it would also be if it does come easy to you and you can get the work done.
Mm-hmm.
Then you should be, I feel like, then work at your pace, which might be faster than others.
Absolutely.
I am a slow-paced person, but I get there.
I mean, I can be a very fast-paced person, but 3/4 of the way through it, it's going to bite me in the ass. In what would have been her junior year, Katelin completed both 11th and 12th grade simultaneously, which sounds like a nightmare to me, and held down a job working with her mom at Wawa. Which is no small feat. That is so much work.
I know.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And when we asked Lisa, like, whoa, was she like really stressed out? And she was like, no. I know. I was so surprised. I would have been losing my mind. But apparently it never bothered Katelin. You guys, just an FYI, I was so excited when I found out the convenience store, quote, Katelin and Lisa worked in, that was mentioned in all the articles I read was Wawa.
I know. That was so exciting. She's like, have you ever heard of Wawa? And
we were like, wait a minute. New Jersey so understands the importance of a Wawa. We respect it wholeheartedly. You guys are doing God's work.
Yes.
Honestly, I was like, how do people live without one?
Yeah.
It's like a savage land other places. Wawa. Life without Wawa, savage land. That's my new t-shirt.
That's it.
Anyway, In the spring of 2013, Katelin graduated from Caroline County High School, and she was so proud. And well, she should be. That's a huge accomplishment. So she was very proud of that diploma, too, which had become the symbol of the work she had put in. After graduation, Katelin worked full-time and still managed to keep up with her friends. As I mentioned, Katelin was good at keeping the people in life that she cared about. So if she cared about you, she kept you. She didn't let your relationship linger, which is an amazing quality because it's very hard to stay in touch a lot of times. Like when you're not in direct contact with people, it's easy to trail off, and not for any lack of caring, just life is complicated, College wasn't on the horizon for Katelin at this point in time, but I think that was more a product of age than ambition for her. She was only 16, 17 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Because she's a September baby, so she would have also even been young.
Mm.
Taking time to figure out what you want to do with your life, though, before you commit to a course of higher learning study is actually a very smart decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
She's very mature.
Yeah. Yeah, and a little in a hurry to grow up.
Yeah.
I see that, too. But, we've talked about the college thing a lot of times. I don't think you should rush into that.
Yeah, again, some people are ready for it. They're ready to go. And then some people just need, a little bit more time.
Figure it out, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Katelin may not have been totally sure what she was going to be when she grew up, which is all right, girl. Neither am I, and I'm 40. But what Katelin was sure of was that she wanted to be with Amber forever.
Mm.
So in the fall of 2014, right after she turned 18, Katelin left Caroline County and her tight-knit family to move to Lake Havasu, Arizona with Amber. But her family made sure to tell her that she always had a home with them no matter what. It's hard to let your kids fly the nest, but it seemed that Katelin had a good foundation and was not flying without a net, so to speak. So she moved to an apartment with Amber and I believe also Amber's brother. So I think they all lived there and were paying rent together. But they had a place of their own. They weren't living in Amber's family home. They were, doing the thing. They were trying to live life. But the move did not affect Katelin's relationship with her family at all, and they all remained very close. Katelin and her sister, Gabby, would text all day, every day, just constant contact. Lisa even told us that Katelin's old passwords, and they have all since been changed so nobody get fresh, were her sister's name.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh.
I know, that's cute.
That's really sweet. Lisa said if she was working an 8-hour shift, Katelin would call her at least twice during it and text her a whole bunch of times, too. And if she couldn't get a hold of her mom, Katelin would call Pam or Gabby looking for where she was. So she always wanted to keep tabs on where her mom was. And anytime she needed any kind of help or advice, Katelin was calling home. Her support system had not changed in the least. They just happened to live across the country. During this time, Katelin didn't really see or talk to James much, as far as I can tell. I think they kind of just, again, like I said, some people trail off. And I think that's what this was. I don't think it was a purposeful break in communication. It was just that her life was taking off and he wasn't around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it goes. There are no nefarious reasons that I can confirm. And she was just getting older. And I guess he was busy playing video games in his house.
Probably. He had so many phones to talk on.
He did, and so many properties to manage, because later we'll learn that James owned not one but 3 homes.
Yeah.
One he lived in, one his mother lived in, and one he rented to tenants. But there weren't tenants there always.
Don't give it all away, Holly.
I know. So maybe he was talking to his mom. I don't know. Hacking a phone for no reason. He could have been doing anything. It wasn't hanging out with Katelin. After setting up in Arizona and getting her footing, Katelin and Amber got engaged.
Nice.
Which was very exciting. They were young, yes, but this was a long-term relationship. So at this point, they had been together for 4 years. And everyone was happy for them. But this wasn't the only good news in the family. Katelin's sister Gabby also announced right around this time that she was expecting a baby. And this would have been in early 2015. And I know what we're kind of probably prickling out a little bit, which is that would make Gabby pretty young. So I think Katelin was 18. She would have been 15 or 16 in there. But I think it reflects on her family's ability to kind of see the positive in things, where they're like, you know what? You're going to have a baby. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be great. You're going to be so happy. We're all going to love this baby so much. It's amazing.
And we're all here to support you.
Yeah. And she had a huge network of, as I said, strong women who were all there to be supportive. So everyone was super excited, especially Katelin. She was absolutely thrilled with this news. She was incredibly excited to be an aunt. There are so many Facebook posts from her about how stoked she was, how happy she was for Gabby. And I think it's fun that one of her favorite shows was 16 and Pregnant. And here she was supporting her sister in that very moment. Like, she was so ready.
Right.
She had been training for this. She's like, I got you. We're going to do this shit. I love that. Katelin's Facebook page shows that she liked numerous pregnancy and parenting pages. She also liked a lot of advocacy and fundraising pages for children with life-threatening illnesses and some LGBTQ parenting sites. And here's what this tells me. It tells me that Katelin is an empathetic person, that she loves children. She had anticipated not only helping her sister throughout her pregnancy and birth, but she also wanted to be there to help raise her nephew. It also tells me that she wanted to be a mother herself one day, and that judging by her newly engaged status, she wanted to do that with Amber. In every article you read about Katelin, you will see that she loved children, and Lisa told us the children also loved her back. There's something about a person who children are drawn to. They usually have a little magic about them. Throughout this time, Katelin was very involved with Gabby's pregnancy. I see she's tagged in all the ultrasound videos. Gabby mentioned she sent Katelin lots of pictures and told her all the little details. And nothing is going to make a person think of their own future like helping a loved one prepare for a baby. Katelin decided in the late fall of 2015 that she knew what she wanted to do with her life, and she wanted to be a hairstylist, which is appropriate because she loved doing her hair all kinds of different colors. And we find out in other interviews that she also kind of like would help her family do their hair, and she would help her friends with their hair, something she always liked. Her family also say that she loved helping people, and that this service is undoubtedly a means of nurturing others. Like your hairstylist they're helping you. We tell our hairstylists everything. And we also rely on them to help us look the way we want to feel.
Right.
You know? And in my opinion, that's definitely helping. So I see this. So now we're headed into 2015 and the world of beauty. But like, what was that like? I know it wasn't that long ago.
But I know all about it.
Get out, really?
I do.
So can you maybe like just tell us some stuff?
Yeah, I got some things I can tell you.
Oh my God, I'm so glad. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Just sit back, have a drink.
I'm just going to relax a little bit.
Cool. Okay. So in 2015, we saw a resurface of some 70s trends.
Mm-hmm.
We had the button front skirts that came back and are still here.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite trend was the athleisure.
Ugh, yes. Let me be comfortable and cute.
Yeah. So this hit its mark in 2015. Now athletic wear was chic and fabrics were nicer. Wearing leggings out went from being questionable to socially acceptable.
Love a legging.
And having a cute workout set was a must and something you couldn't wait to show off to your girlfriends during a Starbucks or TJ Maxx meetup. Lace up. You had to think about that for a minute.
I got it.
Okay.
I got there. It took me a minute to arrive.
Lace up fronts, in particular, the lace up bodysuit with the high-waisted jeans. I feel like Kim Kardashian made that popular.
She made all the things popular.
Yeah. Yeah, this was prime all Kardashian. Like whatever they were wearing, we were wearing.
Even if we didn't
all the
know
ages,
it.
like from Kylie to Kourtney.
Yep, for sure.
Off-the-shoulder peasant shirts paired with short shorts or wide culottes.
Oh boy, a culotte. What a time to be alive.
Early internet graphics on shirts and hats, especially like bucket hats were big.
Bucket hats are big now.
I know, they're back.
I don't like a bucket hat.
I am not a huge fan though, but sometimes I see one and I see it on the right person. I'm like, oh, that is like so cute. And then I put it on and I look good in a hat. So it's kind of like, this works, but I don't want it to work.
I feel like I look like an extra large child who is trying too hard in a bucket hat.
Right, which I feel like I am a normal sized child.
And you're not trying too hard. You're trying just enough.
Just enough.
That's also something I want on a t-shirt. Trying just enough.
Oh, wait. I do have news this week.
What is it?
I was wearing my jean overalls.
They're really cute.
And I had my hair down with like a little wave to it.
Also very cute.
And I had two people tell me that I look like I could be an Olsen twin.
Were they listeners?
No.
God, that was authentic.
Yeah.
You really are. The Olsen
Guys, my
triplet.
skin is glowing. I look like a baby. That validation was amazing. I'm going to be living off of it.
You look so
the
young.
rest of my life.
You could wear a bucket hat.
For sure. And nobody would think twice.
No, not one person.
Take that right down to the shore.
Die on that hill. Die on it.
I will.
I'm gonna.
All right. This also was in 2015. Itty bitty cutouts on clothing around the neck, hips, and hems which allowed a little flash of skin without the need of an advanced bra.
Oh, an advanced bra. That sounds so uncomfortable.
Bandanas were also a huge hit this year. So many style blogs had articles about all the different ways you could wear a bandana. It was like 17 ways.
Yeah, that's too many. Don't wear them as tops. Relax.
But this is why once the pandemic hit, everybody had a bandana to wear.
Oh, I sure did.
Yeah. Because we all had them in 2015.
Oh, we sure did.
Lace-up pumps, kind of like the Gladiator sandals.
I like those. I know what you're talking about.
In this year. And those shoes, I feel like, come and go every couple years.
Yeah.
They're sometimes acceptable at the club, but sometimes they peak out in a more casual, fancier setting.
I feel you.
The color scheme was a lot of charcoal browns and camels. Again, Kardashian colors, that camel.
They're so neutral.
Yeah. Raw hem jeans, similar to fringe, were also back in style. So, not the really long dangly ones, but just more of, they were just, ripped a little bit.
On purpose, not off. They looked like you had walked on the street with them forever and destroyed them.
Exactly.
As we did in our youth.
Just a little bite was taken out.
Little bite.
A little bitty bite.
Cute.
Slip-on sneakers also became really trendy, and not just for high schoolers, but for everyone. Great. You could get a really nice slip-on shoe that wasn't just Skechers memory foam anymore, which are so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Hair trends for 2015 include braids, crazy hair colors, most popular being purples and blues, and man buns.
Man buns!
Yes. In Google's top searched hairstyles, how to grow or do a man bun was the third most searched result.
Do you remember the fake ones?
No.
Yeah, you could buy a clip-on man bun if you really wanted that style.
Of course you could.
If you were a bunless man.
Which is so funny because they just had them anyway for women, but then now they're marketing them to men.
I know. Bunless men.
Yeah.
Will provide you with a bun.
Yeah. I love it. I also love when they market certain skincare to men. And I'm just you can it's just all the same.
We put it in a utilitarian package.
Yeah.
And we used words like, you look tough and resilient.
Yeah.
Good job, marketing.
Yes. Okay. Shaggy haircuts for women were back in style, and styling the hair back in a slick, almost wet look was also in.
Okay. I can't pull that off. My head is too tiny.
Yeah. I just looked like a sweaty mess. Wasn't good. It's not good. I look better with hair in front.
Yeah.
So that was 2015.
All right.
Yeah. And Katelin did some of those trends.
She really
colored
did.
her hair. She had short, shaggy hairstyles.
She did. Mm-hmm.
She probably had a man bun once in a while. I don't know.
I don't think she had a man bun, but maybe a bucket hat.
Maybe a bucket hat. She definitely had a bucket.
She had that cute little face. She could have pulled off a bucket 100%.
Hat. 100%. She probably had some cute white slip-on sneaks or something going on.
Jeans with a little fray on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see all of that.
For sure.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for all that beauty, Leslie. Now let's get down to business. You have all the background, so let's get to the incident. Gabby gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Landon in late November. I will include the pictures of Landon that Lisa gave me in the photo suite. I'm saying this because I would not include pictures of someone's baby without their consent. Lisa sent us these. They're very proud of Landon. We are allowed to show them. You should gush over him as much as possible. He's
so cute.
Oh my God. He is hands down adorable. And I know you guys are going to want to see anyway. At this time, Katelin had also applied to cosmetology school. So she had decided, I'm going to go back to school. I'm not back to school. I'm going to go to school for it. That's going to be my path. So she waited the little time and she found what she loved, which again, like we talked about, I think that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't jump into anything before she knew. But in order to complete her application, she needed her high school diploma, which she had left at home. She decided then that she would go home in the beginning of December to meet her new nephew and to pick up her diploma. And everyone was thrilled. This was like a great plan. But it was a solo trip for her. Amber was staying at home for whatever obligation. She doesn't need to explain herself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time Katelin had ever traveled alone. The trip back to Virginia went off without a hitch, though. She did fine. Katelin spent a lot of time with her family while she was there, and every second she possibly could squeeze out with her new nephew, who she loved like the second she saw him. She was over the moon for this baby. In fact, her Facebook pages, which do still exist, there's a picture for Katelin Michelle Akens. You can look at it if you want, or a profile, I mean. And her cover photo is a picture of newborn Landon in his car seat.
Yeah. Oh.
I know. So during this time, Katelin had debated on extending her trip there because she was like really loving being with her baby nephew and her family. But I think there was a deadline with her school application to meet, and she already had her plane ticket home. So she was slated to leave from Reagan Airport at 5:40 p.m. on December 5th. Now, Reagan Airport is in Arlington, Virginia, which is close to Washington, D.C. So on that road we described earlier with the snowpocalypse, traffic at time. But if there is no traffic, it's about an hour and 15 minutes away from Caroline County. But Katelin did not drive, so this would never occur to her anyway. She had never gotten her driver's license. Some people don't. And any identification that people will refer to later was just like ID cards. You can get like a legit ID card that's not for operating a vehicle, and that's what she seemed to have had. So while she's home, it's not like she rented a car or anything. She was relying on her family to take her everywhere.
She also wouldn't be able to rent a car. She was too young.
Oh, right. She was too young. That's right. I forgot. Yeah. So she's at the will of who can drive her places. Unfortunately, it was discovered that Lisa had to work on the 5th because she worked weekends and the 5th was a Saturday. And so did like pretty much the rest of her family. Like nobody was able to drive her to the airport. Like Pam couldn't do it. Pam's husband couldn't do it. Nobody could make it work. So Lisa called on her old ex-husband, James, to see if he could give Katelin a lift. So remember, at this point, his relationship has been largely positive with the girls for years. It's not like they talk all the time, but it's not like he's disinterested in them either.
Right.
James said he would be more than happy to do this. He said he had work that day, but he would drop her off early, if that was all right, around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I have to say, she had a 5:40 flight. Being dropped off at the airport at 1 o'clock for a 5:40 flight is not super weird or uncommon.
No, because, I mean, even at that time, they were telling us
get there early.
Like 3 or 4 hours early. And she's going to a city airport.
Yeah.
So
a busy airport.
Yeah.
And it's holiday time. We're at December 5th, which means we're in the Christmas season.
Okay, yeah.
So to me, that doesn't seem like crazy early or uncommon. And she would be safe waiting in an airport in the interim. I would never be worried about someone like sitting in a terminal,
right?
You know.
And also, again, this is the first time that she is traveling by herself.
Right.
So, I mean, I get very nervous about doing things the first time.
Oh, me too.
So, like, I would even be like, I just want to get there.
So I know where I'm going to be.
I know where I'm going to be. And so even my parents would feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, so Lisa was totally okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
James and Katelin hadn't seen each other in a while at this point in time. And according to family, Katelin was very excited to see James. And he was excited to see her. They're like, oh, cool. We haven't seen each other in a while. We can catch up. It's nice that he can do this for me. All on the up and up. Now, I know there are other sources out there in the world that say otherwise. There are friends that claim that Katelin didn't trust James or that he was abusive in the past or he was homophobic towards her. But none of this has ever been confirmed. So I'm not going to trust these rumors because they are essentially gossip.
Mm-hmm.
I only mention them because I know that our fiends are studious and they will want to read more and that they're going to encounter these articles when they do so.
Right.
So the plan was that Lisa would drop Katelin off at James's house in Spotsylvania, which is a different house than the one they lived in together. Spotsylvania, as I mentioned, is a county, and this particular house is in a town called Partlow. And then, so Lisa would drop Katelin off before work around 9 o'clock. And then James would take Katelin to the airport so that she would arrive around 1 so he could get back to his house in time to make it to work at the insurance company he was working for. which was on a naval base, but we later discovered that the insurance company was Geico.
Mm-hmm.
And just for funsies, Leslie, what does Geico stand for?
Oh gosh, it was government employee insurance company, which I had no idea.
So boring.
I know, no idea.
First of all, didn't know it was the government.
Yeah,
which makes sense because he was on a naval base.
right.
But second of all, like, I thought there was like a Mr. Geico out in the world.
I know. But it's so funny because it's common knowledge for the people in that area.
Really?
Yeah. But not for, because it's from that area
Mhm.
and then has expanded.
Okay. That is I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
What a boring, that little gecko.
I know.
He's so interesting and really he's just like some stupid acronym.
But now I understand why it was never called like gecko insurance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because I was like, well, why, if they have a gecko?
Just call it Gecko. Gecko's weird.
Yeah, why
Mr. Geico was like, no, it will be me.
Yeah.
There's no Mr. Geico.
There's no Mr. Geico.
That's a shame. Maybe we'll invent a personality for him someday.
Yeah.
Mr. Geico is very full of himself and he's like, you will all say my name all the time.
He is
Fuck
the
that
government.
Aflac duck.
Ooh. Holly.
You know, he is the government. You're right.
Or as your iPhone would say, duck that Aflac duck.
It will every time. I never mean duck, but they always think I do.
Yeah.
Fine. For a while, I just left it.
Yeah. Quack.
Yeah. Duck, duck, duck. Anyway, James said he had to be at work somewhere between 3 and 4. Now, depending on the source you read, it's going to be different. He had to be there at 3. He had to be there at 3:30. He had to be there at 3:40. He had to, there's a lot of different, but you know what? It truly doesn't matter.
He just had to be at work.
He just had to be at work and he had to drop her off so he could be back around 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
When you factor in traffic, feels like it makes sense there.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people say he wanted to go home first so he could get changed. Also doesn't matter, but these are things you will read somewhere else. So they make these plans where James is going to take her and Lisa's going to drop her off like a day or so before Katelin was set to leave. So this was done. They knew it was happening. The whole family knew because Lisa had asked other people if they could take her.
Mm-hmm.
And when they couldn't, they're like, well, what's she going to do? So obviously this was well known. On the night of December 4th, Katelin decided she would catch up with some high school friends at a party they were having at their apartment. Now, these friends were a couple, but I think there were other people at the gathering that came for a little while. And there was drinking involved, so people were not necessarily going to be driving that night. So Katelin arranged to just stay over at her friend's home and that they would take her back to her mother's house early the next morning so that they would be able to leave by, just before 9 o'clock. Perfect. So Katelin had packed and she made sure to check that she had her diploma. Lisa mentions in other interviews that she checked for that diploma a bunch of times. That she was like, hey guys, make sure I have my diploma. She told people this. So it was important to her. She needed to leave with this diploma. While at the party that night, Katelin and her friends drank and played cards, and then things got a little wild. According to multiple sources, she had a sexual encounter with this couple that lived at the apartment. And the couple, I believe, later confirmed this. This is the thing that did happen. But things were drunk and weird, and they went too far. This is not a shocking event. That happens. It happens enough. And everyone after the fact seemed to have regretted it. The couple has spoken about regretting it too. In fact, it got so awkward afterwards that one source claims that they brought Katelin home way earlier than she was expecting to go home.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, oh, okay, you just want to go home. We're just going to take you home. It's fine. Now, there are some sources that report this was a coerced encounter, this couple forced themselves on Katelin. But again, this is speculation. We have no evidence of that. There's no record of her saying any of these things. It's just what people think might have happened.
Right.
So when you read those things, you have to remember this is like a game of telephone and we're just on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning after Katelin returns home, she spends time with Landon and Gabby. She gets her things together. Lisa loads her into the car, takes her to James's house where she drops her off at about 9:20 a.m. Lisa had to be at work at 10. She lived one town over. This makes perfect sense. Now, if everything had gone as planned, Katelin and James would have hung out for about an hour and a half. I assume get breakfast and chat or something. And then he would drive her to the airport And from the airport, he would leave for home or work, whatever you want to assume. And everyone just kind of figured, all right, this is what happened. Which, why wouldn't you? You're never going to go, okay, this day is probably going to go not as planned at all. So the day passes by from, like 20 after 9 to early in the afternoon. At 1:53, Lisa receives a text message from James. And here's the short exchange that they have. 1:53, James says, quote, I dropped Katelin off. Lisa says, okay, thank you. How was traffic? And James says, not bad. Red flag. This is a red flag right away. And Lisa raises an eyebrow about it because there's always traffic. Also, I have to wonder, and I a little bit regret not asking Lisa this. He dropped her off at 1:53, but in every other thing, like pre-planning it, he said he was dropping her off at 1 o'clock. 53 minutes beyond when he said he was going to drop her off, and he said there was no traffic.
Right.
Not bad. I mean, I guess maybe 53 extra minutes is not bad. I don't know, but Lisa also dropped Katelin off at 9:20 in the morning. They could have left whenever.
Right.
So to me, I'm like, why were they that late?
Right.
Not that it matters. She could have been way later. It was probably more convenient for her, but he specifically said, I have to drop her off by 1, and then did not.
Right.
Moving on. A few minutes later, Lisa gets a text from Katelin, like bing, bing. They're like back to back almost. It says, quote, I'm at the airport, battery dying, so won't be able to text for a bit. And Lisa responds, okay, let me know when you get on the plane. Normal. About an hour after this exchange, Lisa gets a text from Amber, Katelin's fiancée. Now, a lot of recounts of this case will tell you that Amber got her text message first. And that's what we thought might have happened too, because it's clocked at 11 something in the morning. However, Amber is in Arizona, which means there is a 3-hour time difference. So the time for her is not the time for us and Virginia. And therefore, that is why it sounds like her text got there so much earlier, when in reality, it was around the same time, I believe.
Right. Are they 3? I know that we said that. Are they 3 or 2 hours?
California's 3.
Right.
So
Arizona.
In my mind, they're the same.
I know.
But I could. Well, Lisa said they're 3 hours.
Okay.
So I think that's what it is.
Okay. I didn't know if she was confirming with me just because I
don't
felt
know.
very confident saying that. And then was like, wait a second. Because I was wondering, I remember the message coming in like 11:56 or something in the morning. So then I'm thinking it would have come in if it was 2 hours.
Right, which would be a little bit after Lisa got her text from Katelin.
That's true. Okay. Yep.
So that's in my head, the timeline is she gets these texts. She goes, okay, she's at the airport. He dropped her off. Cool. And then an hour later, her phone dings again and she gets a message from Katelin's fiance, Amber, who says that she is concerned because Katelin has texted her that something happened with her flight and she isn't going to be able to take it, but that she would get another one, which Lisa sees another red flag at because she knows there is no other flight she can get on. And she's immediately concerned. She's like, she has a one-way ticket. This is the only flight. I don't know what she thinks she's going to do. Who's getting her? What is she doing? She's just living in limbo forever, So she starts to call and text Katelin, but her phone appears to be off. Calls are going right to voicemail. Texts are not being responded to. 19-year-old girl is going to respond to a text. So that is alarming. So Lisa tells her family, and she's still at work at this point, by the way. She informs her family. She's like, listen, something weird is going on with Katelin. See if you can get in touch with her. I don't know what's happening. And everyone starts to panic a little because this is very out of character. But Katelin won't answer anyone. So after she finishes work, which is probably about an hour after this moment, another hour about elapses, she messages James again and asks exactly where he drops Katelin off. Now, I'm imagining if I were Katelin's mother, I'd be thinking, well, did you drop her off outside? Did she ever make it inside? Did she have to walk to the terminal? Could she find the terminal? That's confusing. Airports are confusing. And this is the first time she had ever traveled alone. But James answered that he had dropped her off at the Springfield Mall so she could pass the time until her flight shopping. He said that there was a metro station right there and that she could take it to the airport. He left her with $20 for the metro and then went, quote, to work. This is another red flag. Katelin had never been to this mall before in her life, and according to Lisa, she didn't even know that it existed. So it was strange of her to ask to pass the time there. If you're unfamiliar with a place and you only have a very limited amount of time, it's hard to kind of just hang out. I mean, but likewise in a mall, I would probably get like coffee and hang out or something.
So we discussed this briefly, and we thought that a possibility for her to go to that mall would be one, either James knew about it because he travels for his work.
Yeah.
And he might have thought like, hey, you do have a lot of time before your flight. You could go here and then take the metro over, which I think it's 2 stops from there.
If we are to believe that this happened.
Yeah. Or also she was at a gathering with her friends the night before.
Yep.
Maybe she was complaining to them about having to get dropped off early and like, what am I going to do for 4 or 5 hours? And they were probably like, oh, there's this Springfield Mall, which we were told might not have been familiar to this family, but it's a big mall that people in that area know
lived
about.
in D.C. for a while, and he said it's like, if you live in our area, it's kind of like King of Prussia, like it's a big mall.
Yeah.
So someone could have suggested it. It's definitely possible if we are to believe she ever went there. But to further Lisa's theory, Katelin had also never taken the metro by herself before. In fact, she had only been on it once when she was 6 years old, and she called it the Boogie Woogie Choo Choo Train.
So cute.
I loved it. But like one ride on the metro at 6 does not an expert make. And it was not in Katelin's character to be able to navigate such a task for the first time without assistance. Katelin was someone who would call her mom or her Aunt Pam when she didn't understand a single step in a simple recipe. Navigating unfamiliar public transportation was extremely out of character for her, which I get, because I couldn't do that either. I would be screwed if I was in that position. I would never make it anywhere. It's fine. I understand this about myself and give grace to others who are the same way.
I would have gone in real confident and then got real nervous and then asked a lot of people for help 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Can you re-explain this to me? I'm going to Google it.
You probably would have gotten there. I probably would have sat in a ball somewhere.
But I would have been a hot mess.
I hear you, man. So then no one hears from Katelin for hours and hours. They're like, okay, well, this is weird. She's dropped off at this unexpected place. She said she's not going to make her flight. And then just radio silence until 7:15 in the evening. So this is a rather large gap in time.
Yeah.
And at 7:15, Lisa receives 2 back-to-back text messages from Katelin out of the blue. It's the last time she's ever heard from her. They are, quote, staying with a friend, quote, I need some time alone. Now, this is also a red flag to Lisa, as it is not the usual cadence of Katelin's text messages. She is a pre-think texter, and she'll compose the whole message in one block rather than sending a back-to-back sentence situation, which is, that's how I text, one sentence at a time. And we all know this is the thing, right? Like, you have a text voice. People have a unique way of texting that is their own. Now, it may not be something that everyone in the world would pick up on, but if you're close to them, you know when something is off kilter.
Right.
Like, I know how you text.
Mm-hmm.
I know how Will texts. I know how my best friend texts and my cousin Nick. And if any of them sent me something out of character and wonky, it would for sure stick out to me.
Right. Like if my grammar was correct, you'd be like...
And then, you didn't have to tell me that it was incorrect later.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, who is this?
Why aren't you unnecessarily apologizing for something? What's going on? Yeah. But I would totally... texting in a different cadence is a real thing, and it will stick out if it happens. So Lisa texts this wonky text back, call me, I'm very worried about you, please call me. So that's 3 separate texts. But at this point, Katelin's phone was off, and it never turned back on as far as they can tell again. So a few moments after Lisa receives her wonky back-to-back text, Amber receives a message via Facebook Messenger, which there are weird issues with. We have discovered that can be an encrypted app.
Mm-hmm.
So really, this could be from her phone. It could not be. I don't think we have 100% on this message. And it simply says, quote, I can't come back. I cheated on you. And then radio silence that has continued to this minute.
What we did learn about Facebook Messenger is that it is encrypted, but say Amber, gave the police her phone for this, they'd be able to track where that came from.
Yeah, I don't know that they ever asked. Because Amber has not disagreed with anything. She's been very compliant.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So I think...
And she's in Arizona.
Yeah. So they would, as long as they have it from the sender or the receiver, they'd be able to figure out where they came from.
Yeah. So this is something that is unclear. And Lisa didn't even have this information. She was like, I truly don't know where that specific message necessarily came from. So that's, to me, is a point of interest. Because you can be on text, you can message from Facebook Messenger from anywhere.
Right. But that, again, is something that the police may have looked into.
They may have. And I guess.
And have added it in.
At some point in time, we'll probably find out. So at this point, the family has gone into full search mode. They have called the airport. And it turns out that Katelin had never checked in at the airport, never gone through security, never boarded a flight. Obviously, the flight is left at this point in time without a hitch and never had a delay or any trouble on the flight. So there would be no reason that she could not board that flight. Katelin also never had purchased a metro ticket. There were no records of her name at the metro station. There was no record that she had purchased anything at the mall with like a card. You know, you can tell if like a card purchase went through and there's no record of that. Beyond that, the family believes there isn't really much they can do at this point until the prescribed 2 days missing has elapsed. You know, we hate that convention because It's not true. But Lisa's even told this by police. She says they're like, you got to wait a couple days. She's an adult. She left. There's no proof that she's missing. She's just not with you. Mm-hmm. And I hate this because it feels like they are immediately not taken seriously.
Right.
And that time is so precious.
Right.
The time right after someone disappears is like the most precious time.
Right.
No one should be squandering it.
Like, wouldn't it be better to just find the person and then get really annoyed that you didn't leave them alone?
But they're not, nothing bad has happened.
Right. That's makes me so mad.
Like, me too.
If your family is concerned, check on these people.
You gotta look. I don't care if they like want to run away. That's fine. But like, you can't just I don't know. We've mentioned this before. This is an absurd thing. So Lisa and the family waits the whole time. They're calling Katelin nonstop. They're looking for her. They're in communication with the airport, the metro station, the mall. They're doing it. They're trying to find her. And when those 2 days elapse on Monday, December 7th, Lisa goes to the Spotsylvania Police Department to report Katelin missing because the last place she was seen alive was Spotsylvania County. Mm-hmm. Now, Lisa makes a report at the police station, but police tell her not to worry. They say it is likely she ran away and would be home with her tail between her legs in a couple weeks' time. They say this happens all the time with dramatic, stupid teenagers. And they encourage Lisa not to search. They encourage Lisa not to put up posters. They encourage Lisa not to talk to anybody else, especially the media. They say if Katelin sees this or hears about it, it might scare her off and she won't be as apt to come home. And I fucking hate this even more than the don't report them for 2 days.
Right.
Don't say anything or look for your missing child. That is so crazy to me. I don't even know what to do with it.
Right.
No one's going to do that. I mean, or if they do, it is not a good plan.
Well, you know what bothers me about it? It's not so much that they didn't want them to do something. It's that the way they didn't want them to do anything and they weren't going to do anything. Like the police weren't. They were all just like, no. We'll like kind of, we have our ears out now, like open, but like we're just going to see if she crawls out of this hole.
I know. It's so stupid. Mm-hmm. And to this, her family does say she's not the kind of person that would do this. Mm-hmm. She's not the kind of person who would run away. This is totally outside of her character. She was really excited about this new baby. And furthermore, she's not very independent. She doesn't do things on her own well. But the police will have none of it. They're like, nope, she ran away. It's going to be fine. But there are people in this world that actually do run away. And I think that we find that they're a little different than Katelin. Leslie, maybe you can give us a few examples to kind of flesh out who runs away from their life. How do they do it?
Okay, well, I went to Reddit and
Love
I found some fun little stories here of people that have run away and came back years and years later.
Okay.
So this one Redditor, Koala Bella, said that I have an uncle who left when he was 16 in the late 70s. Nobody heard from him until 2004 when he sent me a Facebook friend request.
Oh.
Turns out he's been living on the other side of the country, having a quiet, happy life as a school teacher. He'd left because his mother, who was this Koala Bella's grandmother, was abusive and her uncle had done very well out there.
Oh, okay.
He didn't contact anyone, including her mother, which was his sister,
Right.
who he was especially close to because, this is really cute, he had taken $15 from her purse when he left, and he thought that everyone must be really angry at him. And she said that, like, my mom hadn't even noticed that, like, that money was gone.
Oh.
I know. Yeah. So that was that guy. Then there's Clara999. She says, one of my mums, I guess she's from like England.
One of my mums. Yes.
One of my mom's uncles disappeared in the 70s as well. He was only 18 and had been working as a laborer and living in a caravan on a pig farm.
A caravan?
His mother had not heard from him for a couple of weeks. So she went to visit him, only to be told by the farmer that he had had a fight with some of the other workers and left, leaving most of his belongings behind. The farmer was quite an aggressive chap by all accounts.
This is a British case. Yeah. I know this case.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Okay. His mom contacted the police, who said there was nothing they could do, and she was always suspicious something untoward had happened to him. There is a saying in the UK, never trust a man who owns a pig farm, due to the fact that they are used to dispose of bodies. We know that well.
Yep.
In our true crime.
When in doubt, pigs.
Exactly. His mother passed away 10 years ago, never knowing the fate of her only son, but we all secretly thought that he had been killed and fed to the piggies. However, 3 years ago, he turns up out of the blue, married with children and grandchildren. It was his children who reached out to the family via Facebook and all the places. Turns out he hated his job and he felt his mother was overbearing, so he just walked away. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Just had enough. So the last one I have is from Bateau Mediocre. They say that one of their girlfriend's aunts disappeared at the age of 14. She was from a small village in France, and one day her family found her bike and like on the side of the road and no trace of her. 40 years later, she showed up to reconnect with the family. Turns out that she was beaten by her father and pissed off by the small town mentality, so she just decided to disappear.
Oh my God, at 14.
At 14, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
I know.
So people do this.
Yeah.
But again, in my opinion, Katelin doesn't align with any of these things. Her family stated this was very out of character. Everybody says that, I get it, but I kind of see this with her. Mostly because of the fact that, like, she was not the kind of person that would have been able to pull it off.
Right.
And not for lack of intelligence. She was clearly very smart, but she wasn't like an inherently independent person who would be able to sever contact with her family easily. It would have been enormously difficult for her to do something like that. And also, she couldn't drive.
Right.
Katelin never got a driver's license, as we mentioned before. So how would she even get from place to place? Public transportation requires, you use something. There would have been a record of her somewhere. And police did and do continue to look for her. And there is no security footage of her anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And public transportation is one of the first places they're going to look. So, again, while Lisa is at the Spotsylvania Police Department, because remember, that's where she is at this point in time, she is pulled into a side room and told by an officer that a, quote, Virginia Department of Transportation worker has discovered Katelin's blue wheelie suitcase in a drainage ditch. The suitcase was found near Mott's Run Reservoir around the 6600 block of River Road in Spotsylvania, which is less than 5 miles away from a property that had been owned by James Branton. Police and Lisa were later informed that the house had renters at that time, which it did not. Inside the suitcase, they found Katelin's airline ticket, her wallet, which contained her identification card, her credit cards, her bank card that was attached to both her account that she shared with Lisa and her family and one that she shared with Amber. It also had all of her cash, her phone charger, her glasses, her toothbrush, and some other little items. Katelin's cell phone, high school diploma, and clothing, though, were all missing. Authorities concluded that the suitcase appeared to have been thrown from a moving vehicle, as it was like scuffed up and ripped, unzipped, and missing one of the wheels. Police then scoured security footage at the airport, mall, and metro station, and Katelin had never been to any of those places. James's car had never even entered a parking lot. James was initially very agreeable with the police. He gave them a statement more than one time. He also sent them photos of his car and the license plate so they could identify it anywhere. But he never once texted Katelin during the search. Everyone was texting her furiously. He never did that. He did not help in any of the searches either. And he was generally not involved. And for the last person to see her before she went missing, this is curious. He also did not report for work the day Katelin went missing, as he said he had to. Nor did he call his job to explain that he was not showing up. He just never returned. In fact, he didn't work following the disappearance for 6 months.
It's wild.
Yeah, he just fell off the face of the earth. One friend and his mom, that's it. And those video games. Initially, James also agreed to take a polygraph, but after lawyering up, he recanted on this and turned it down. James still refuses to take a polygraph to this day. After retaining a lawyer, all communications with James and the police and James and Lisa shut down, but not for lack of trying. Lisa and her family were all over him trying to find out where Katelin was and what happened to her. They were not just questioning him and calling him. They were talking to neighbors. They were putting up signs with his information on them everywhere, trying to get people to kind of flush him out of where he was hiding, and nothing ever worked. On the other side, everyone else in Katelin's family, who I'm sure the police investigated, had an airtight alibi. Amber was where she said she was. Katelin's family was exactly where they said they were. All of her friends were forthcoming and helpful. They all told them as much as humanly possible. Amber posted this message on social media. She said, quote, "Hey, this message is for Katelin Michelle's friends. Me and her family haven't heard from her since 2 p.m. Virginia time, and we are extremely worried about her. She was supposed to be getting on a flight at the Ronald Reagan International Airport. Please, if you have heard from her, contact me, Lisa Sullivan, Pamela Rogowski, or Gabby Akens." So Amber's posting too. She has more the missing posters go up. Everybody's trying to help. 2 weeks after Katelin's disappearance, authorities then conduct an 8-hour search of the last place she was seen, which would be James Branton's 8-acre home, 8 to 10 acres, depending on the source, located on the 200 block of Oak Crest Drive in Partlow, Virginia. Among the properties they seized were James's vehicles, his guns, his computers, and an encrypted cell phone. But only his main cell phone. We talked about this before. The others, the backups, were left behind. James also owned 2 other properties. One he claimed he had tenants living in, like renters, but it was later discovered that it did not have renters. And another property, the one that Lisa and the girls had lived in with James, where his mother was currently living. And neither of these properties has ever been searched.
Right.
They're just in the world. Although the one where his mother was living has since been sold. So I don't know where it stands on searchability or not, but it is no longer in James's possession. So after the search is conducted, authorities report that they found nothing of interest. They didn't find any of Katelin's DNA. They didn't find any of her stuff. They didn't find any evidence of a struggle. They didn't find anything. Okay. James then refuses to unlock the encrypted cell phone that the police have confiscated. So we can't get into this without you. You have to give us the password. He was like, no. If you need to get into it, you'll find a way, but I'm not helping you. Why, though?
Right.
If you don't have something to hide, why are you hiding?
Right. So it's one of 2 things. Either it has exactly where Katelin is.
Yep.
Or there's something else that he's doing too that he also does not want to get in trouble for.
Yeah. Investigators have been unsuccessful at being able to get into this phone for over 6 years, apparently. But come the fuck on, get a 15-year-old hacker on this. Somebody can unlock that shit.
Especially because they mentioned the FBI was involved at one point.
Yeah, they are now. She is one of the first 5 cases on the missing list on the FBI pages.
Yeah, they're Snowden in on this.
Get somebody. Somebody can do it.
Yeah.
Somebody can do it. I don't know why it hasn't been done. Makes me really mad. Investigators were, however, able to obtain some phone records for both Katelin and James's phones, which is basically where they both pinged the day of the disappearance, sorry. And we've talked about pings before. It's the cell phone tower that their signal bounces off of that is closest to where they are when they communicate in any way. It's not necessarily a pinpoint of where they are, but it is the closest
the
tower.
vicinities.
Yeah. Investigators believe that Katelin actually never left the Fredericksburg area, which would be Spotsylvania and where like James's house is. Text messages from Katelin's cell phone never pinged at any cell phone towers that were further than Stafford, which is like, I think, a 10-mile difference at most. It's not far. Shortly before 2 p.m. on the day Katelin disappeared, James texted Lisa, like we said, that he dropped off Katelin, but he said he was in Springfield, right? Which is where we find out the mall is. But his cell phone pinged at a tower the whole time that was nearest to his home in Partlow. Right. His cell phone appears to have never left his home that day. According to all the pings, it was there the entire day.
Right.
Now, your cell phone is not sewn to your face. You could be away from it, but not when you're texting actively.
Mm-hmm.
Around the same time, Lisa had received a message from Katelin's phone. We talked about this when she said she didn't have any service, which was supposed to be in Arlington, Virginia at the airport. However, Katelin's cell phone also pinged at a cell tower near Partlow, which is where James lived. At 7:15 p.m., Lisa received the last 2 text messages from Katelin's cell phone saying she was staying with a friend. At this point, Katelin's cell phone pinged at a tower near Stafford, Virginia, which I mentioned before is less than 15 miles away from where her luggage would eventually be found. So she stayed in a very small area. She was never in Springfield. She was never at the mall. There are numerous websites online that will tell you there is evidence she was located at the mall. There is none. She was never at the airport. She never went more than 15 miles away.
Yeah.
There is one other thing that is worth mentioning here. During the search for Katelin, police did discover the body of a young blonde woman that they at first thought might be Katelin. So they informed her family, and police got like very nervous about it. But it was later discovered that this was a young woman named Heather Saccone. And police for a moment thought maybe they were dealing with a serial killer, 2 young blonde girls who went missing within days of each other because Heather Saccone was murdered on December 6th and Katelin went missing on the 5th. But later they would find out that a man named Jonathan Verherano was guilty of this crime, and he has been since convicted for it. He shot Heather in the back of the head. This is gang-related violence, and it has been confirmed. It took a while to get that, but
right.
They only briefly toyed with the notion that those 2 cases were connected. It's not something that lasted for a long time. And that's where this case is right now.
Yeah.
That's basically all we know. Many attempts have been made since to speak with James, but none of them have worked.
Mm-hmm.
This says 2021. I think it might have been 2020, but I'm not 100%. A billboard with Katelin's picture and information was erected by the Aware Foundation in Spotsylvania County. The billboard is located where State Route 206 meets 301, and this has been systematically placed along James Branton's daily commute from his home to where he was working. At that point in time, it was at the Dahlgreen Naval Base, so I guess either he left Geico for another place or whatever. That's where he was working. This missing persons foundation was hoping that the billboard's placement would inspire James to finally cooperate with authorities out of, like guilt or whatever. But it didn't.
No, instead it just pushed him into early retirement.
Early retirement. It sure did.
At the age of 42.
Age of 42. Good for
Which is a little strange for this day and age. His properties must be doing well.
Yeah, not the one he sold and not the abandoned one and not his home. It also is noted in several cases, and we do talk about it in the interview, that before James sold the property in which his mother lived, they did some quote-unquote renovations.
Right.
And one was replacing the dirt floor of the basement with a concrete basement.
Right.
Now, because we have all read Kristen Smart's case from top to bottom, we know that a concrete anything poured briefly after a disappearance is quite suspicious.
Yeah.
Could it have been he just wanted to sell this place and the dirt floor made it flood? Absolutely. But it lines up awfully strangely. So, other than that, all we have are theories. Now, clearly, there are a lot of people who suspect that James did something to Katelin, that she is no longer alive, and he disposed of her suitcase after whatever happened, removing the diploma and the clothing so that there was no way of tracking her or whatever. And that's it. We just haven't found her yet. And what he's hiding is what he did. Possible, I'm sure. Not what we want to think, but a lot of people think this. There's also a theory out there that after cheating on her fiance, Katelin just wanted to run away from her life. Police say that they uncovered messages from an encrypted messaging app, which Lisa tells us she used Kik, and she used a couple other things to talk to people. WhatsApp, I think, was one of them. And those are encrypted. And they said they found a few messages saying that she was uncomfortable with her situation and she didn't know if she wanted to be home or with Amber. There were just some chats with friends that raised a few red flags. But again, there's nothing concrete and there's no confirmation from these friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a possibility that people have raised and that the police have raised that she just left her life.
Mm-hmm.
And while this is upsetting and while Katelin's family does not believe this is within her behavior, I hope it's true because it means she's out there somewhere and she's all right.
Right. Maybe she'll come back.
And maybe she'll with time realize my family loves me and is looking for me and I miss them and she'll come back. So as out of character as this seems and as far-fetched as it might be, I kind of really hope that's what she did.
Yeah.
She'd have to have been extremely savvy with how she presented herself and what she used. I don't know what money she would have used. People suspect maybe James gave her money. Maybe he helped her with this whole leaving scheme. He got her a different mode of transportation. He has a lot of work though for a guy who never left his house and also didn't go to work for 6 months afterwards.
Right.
What were you doing? Why were you at home for 6 months? Was that your home? Just things that concern me. Those are really the only two theories I read that seem to hold any water. And nothing has been found to support either one of them, but they're the only ones that seem to make any kind of sense. There are some people that were like, well, James is extremely homophobic and he killed her because he didn't like that she was marrying a woman. There are people that say, oh, well, he didn't like that she cheated on her fiance and she confessed this to him and then he kills her. What? That's absurd to me. Well, that's the wildest of all of them to me.
Mm-hmm. I know, but more theories are going to pop up.
Oh, they're all
zero
over. They're all
answers,
over. Yeah.
You know?
But the fact of the matter is, the people who are actively looking for Katelin and invested in this case just don't know. They just don't know what happened. It leaves off right there. Yeah. And they've been very active. Lisa and Pam and the family have they've tried to fucking hunt James down and find out what's going on. And he will not talk.
Yep. Which we will hear about in the interview.
We surely will. And I'm going to leave the rest to that because we have it directly from Katelin's family, which is a far more valid source than I. So, yeah. Also, the Spotsylvania Crime Solvers has volunteered $2,500 of a reward for any information which leads to the discovery of Katelin Akens. So that has been put into place as well, which is great. And if you want further information or to try and help, you can go to the Facebook groups Help Find Katelin Akens and Find Katelin. They have a pretty large base and people are fucking doing the thing. So if you want to get in there and help out, you can. And we will give you further sources as well as they come to us. So what you guys are about to hear is a conversation that Leslie and I had with Lisa and Pam. So Lisa Sullivan and Pam Rogowski, who are Katelin's mom and aunt. And I think, God, it's going to really reveal a lot of twists and turns in this case that you don't necessarily see coming.
Yes.
So give it a listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to having many more conversations about this one.
Absolutely. And fair warning, the beginning of the interview is a little choppy. We were still getting our bearings with some of the sound.
Yeah.
So it does clear up about midway through the interview.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you know.
Yeah, just be patient.
Just be patient with us. We got some things in.
We got some extremely important things in. And it's a Zoom interview.
Mm-hmm.
So there are always we have a recording studio. We're very lucky. But that's not what most people have in their home to record it. And they have their family there and their dog there and life is happening. And so you kind of have to bear with it a little bit.
Yeah. But it's very good.
It's amazing.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, Fiends, we have a very special interview today. We're extremely lucky to have Katelin's mom, Lisa Sullivan, and her aunt, Pam Rogowski, with us today. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi. So we just heard Katelin's case, so we just laid out the whole story, and we just have some kind of specific questions for you, so we feel a little bit like we know more of you guys and what went on. Okay. So I guess our first one is, I just want to talk about Katelin and what she was like, is like. What did you watch on TV?
Katelin, she used to like when the MTV 16 and Pregnant was on, I think it was.
Okay.
She also liked the Army Wives. We watched that together. She watched what's the culture? The Lifetime movies, and the lady that's pregnant has 20 kids or something like that. Her son that just went to jail.
Oh,
the Duggars.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We can relate. We like some reality too, obviously. Those are fun. And I love Lifetime movies. Oh man.
We like those, yeah. And Christmas movies. Me and my girls, Caitlin and Gabby, we always watch Christmas movies. So does my sister. Yep.
Oh, like the Hallmark Christmas movies?
Yep.
You guys like those? Oh, that's great. Those are super fun. So that's something you guys would do together?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. And what kind of music did she like?
She liked a lot of different stuff. She liked George Strait. She liked Uncle Cracker. Nice. She would sometimes listen to Nelly.
Okay.
Variety. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So she had some nice diverse music interests. Did she have any hobbies? I know she was into beauty and hair and makeup and stuff, but is there anything else she just liked doing?
I know at one time when she was going through school, she wanted to be like a Head Start teacher or a kindergarten teacher. She loved kids. Kids loved her.
Oh, I love that. So she was one of those people that kids kind of just come to?
Yes. Kids loved her for some reason. They always did.
Aww. I think kids can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. They can.
That's really sweet. And did she have a favorite food or like snack that she liked?
She really liked fruit, pizza and fruit.
Those are good snacks.
She eat her apples very loudly.
They're crunchy. I mean,
I would get them. I'm like, you eat them in your room.
I totally understand that because I hate that sound. And when my husband eats carrots, I have to leave.
Oh, no. Yes. Yeah.
I totally get that. So we listened to your interview with Crime Junkie, and you mentioned that like when you see banana Laffy Taffy, you think of her.
She loved banana flavored stuff. The Laffy Taffies, they have the Tootsie Pops, have the banana flavors. She loved all the banana flavored stuff.
That struck me as so funny because like when my kids get that trick-or-treating, they take it out immediately. They don't want any part of it.
She loved it. Always liked it.
Well, I like that because I don't like Leslie, you were saying too, I don't know anybody else who prefers the yellow ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So now every time I see them, I'm always going to think of her, which is such a great connection.
We'll definitely, every Halloween when I see that pile of them, my kids took out of their bag, we will be thinking of Katelin.
I used to give mine to her. I'm like, here you go.
She probably had a lot because people weed them out.
Yeah.
I love specifics like that because it just makes us feel like kind of like we know her, like she's our friend that we're looking for.
So I know she liked to dye her hair a lot. Did she have a favorite color that she liked to dye her hair?
Oh, that's a good one.
No, she just liked random colors for the most part. She just wanted to be, if she liked that color, different. Yeah.
Okay, so she liked to stand out in a crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I like that. That's cool quality.
Yeah, definitely.
Very nice. All right, and
it was prom season. Her hair, she had some like her normal color and black. She kind of looked like a skunk.
Oh, I love that.
That was popular there was a time. Did she like do your hair and makeup ever, or like her friends? Was she that girl they came to?
We'd help us straighten our hair because we all got really curly hair.
And, me too.
Yeah. And she would help us straighten it and stuff. I let her cut my hair one time. Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
How did that go?
Well, but she was happy with it.
Okay. That's brave. She was younger.
How her hair was. But her hair was curly? Well, she was mixed.
Oh, see, all the pictures have it so like glossy straight.
She straightened it.
She did a great job.
She did. She does. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. I love that. So she graduated high school a year early. Would you say she always liked academics? She was always into like being book smart and stuff?
She was pretty smart. And when we moved from one county to another, and she was like, I'm just done. She says, can I graduate? Like, I don't care. As long as you graduate on time, early, late, whatever.
That's a lot of work. Was she like constantly doing schoolwork?
Not really.
It came kind of easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to. I would imagine if I was doing 2 grades at once, I'd be working all the time.
Yeah. Her last year, she did 11th and 12th grade in 1 year. And she worked at Wawa, which is a convenience store. I don't know if you know what that is.
We have Wawas. We love a Wawa. Yeah.
Nights, and she worked sometimes second shift, sometimes in the summertimes and whenever. Yeah. She worked there. Just going to school full time and worked.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. Also, we love Wawa, so we're here for that. So graduating early is a huge accomplishment, but like, were her friends disappointed she didn't spend the extra year with them? Because I
think so, because a lot of her friends, she still kept in touch with.
So you'd say she was good at staying in touch with her people, even if there wasn't like a mandatory reason.
Yeah.
Well, that's great quality. Pam, you and Katelin are super close too. Yes, you have a very close relationship. Yeah. I love that. Close family is great. Do you have any stories or anything you want to add about her? Any personal stuff that's fun?
That's with her being ditzy sometimes. Like she'd call and ask about like how to make things and just stuff like that. She didn't know what to do with certain things, and so I would help her.
Did she call you and ask like, what do I do next?
Yes.
She was a true blonde.
Yeah, sometimes she just didn't know, like she was making something and the bowl was too small. I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, get a bigger bowl, Katelin. That kind of thing.
That's really funny.
Yeah. One day at the house, we had not moved the kitchen around, and she couldn't find the microwave, and it was sitting right there. We did it.
That sounds like something I would do. For sure. I get it. That's all right. So in most cases with missing women, and this is something Leslie and I have talked about a lot, authorities always assume that they've just run away. They always say that.
She'll come back. Just leave it alone. They'll come back. Don't.
They said she was being a dumb teenager and they'll give her 2 weeks and she'll come back.
Yep. Don't do any interviews. Don't do any.
Cancel the searches. Don't do interviews or nothing. She'll be right back.
Yeah.
Cancel the searches?
Yeah, that's what they said.
The first big search we canceled because we trusted them. And now we knew it was wrong, but we had the only ones we trusted. So, and it was wrong. It was completely wrong.
We didn't know because we've never gone through this before. They're experts. They should know. They told us to do it. I was like, well, that's what they said. Let's try it.
So we canceled.
Police?
Huh?
Police told you to do that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The first detective that was on the case was doing the police to cancel it.
Yes.
Oh.
Dumb teenager. We can't keep her in the spotlight. If we keep her name out there, she's never going to show her face.
If you let it die down and don't do this and don't do that, and she'll come back.
Yeah. I kept telling them she's not like her. This is not her. We can't do this. She would never run. They wouldn't believe me.
That is shocking because you are her family, obviously. You know what she would and would not do.
Right.
They didn't listen to us.
No.
We were not
whatsoever. And is this the Spotsylvania Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, see, other coverage of this case will say that like, oh yeah, they started right away and everything was fine, but
they did not.
They did not.
They make it seem like it, but they really didn't.
We've run into that in a bunch of other cases that we tell, and it's only women and girls.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about that. You see a lot of that on TV on the like the Discovery Channel with all the different missing people shows. You hear a lot of.
That's a nightmare. So
she doesn't have as much rights because she hasn't been. We don't know for a fact if she's been murdered. That she's only missing, so that's not a big deal. If we know for a fact she's been murdered. We've heard that numerous times, haven't we?
Yeah.
Authorities said that to you? I'm sorry, I'm appalled. That's awful.
Been told that.
Yeah.
Lisa's also been told, don't don't call us. We will call you if we have any news.
That's your child. Of course you were calling.
Exactly.
That's appalling. It's really funny how other retellings of this do not include that. It's always like, oh yeah, they were on it. And like, even on, say, the Facebook boards and stuff, a lot of people are like, please don't come at the police because they did everything the best that they could. They're great.
No, they haven't.
Well, we're 6.5 years in, and
Yeah.
we're at the same point we were when she first went missing that day as we are today. There's been nothing changed. Nothing. Nothing has changed. So you tell me what happened.
That is, I'm not gonna.
We can give them tips. So people say something to us, hey, we may have seen her. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. We feel in our gut it's not her.
We've given them our own tips about different people that have said have saw her, things about Snapchat and everything, and they didn't investigate any of them.
Nope.
We were the
feeling their
her Snapchat. We were the ones that opened it up and found out who had it. They didn't. After multiple times, we told them someone had it.
Yeah.
They didn't investigate it. We found it. We did it ourselves.
Yeah.
And
wait, what happened on her Snapchat?
someone had come to find out. We didn't know who it was, but someone was posting on her Snapchat every now and then. But every time we told the detectives that, nothing was ever done. So the last time it happened, Gabby, Katelin's sister, actually went and found out herself that it was actually sold. Someone bought it, and it had the same password because it had her sister's name in it. Gabby had her name in the password.
Yeah,
and we
password was Gabby.
Now we own. Now we have the Snapchat because
well, thank God.
We did our own work.
Good for you. That's awesome. Did you find anything on her Snap account that was useful to you? I mean, I know Snap disappears so fast.
But even if we gave it to them, they probably wouldn't have done anything anyway. But there was nothing on.
So is there anything else that you guys did on your end that we may not know about? Because, I mean, I've read all of the things I've read are formal. They're on TV. They're on the internet. They're
a lot over the years.
Is there anything you want to?
Yeah. Yeah.
We've held a lot of events ourselves. We've actually got tips at the events that we've held ourselves that we've been investigated because they were not investigated by anyone else.
Really? What did you investigate?
There was a tip that she was found in that someone saw her in Kentucky, and this other stuff. Like there was another one that she was sighted in Utah. We didn't go to Utah, but we tried our best to investigate it.
Right.
There was skeletal remains that was found in Georgia.
That I called and talked to the medical examiner on that.
About. It was not Katelin, but she sent all this information to get that sorted out to see if it was Katelin or not. Just stuff like that we do on our own. Yeah, we searched where her luggage was found. We've searched the stepdad's surroundings where he lives at. There's numerous stuff that we've done.
Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised that you guys have the tenacity to go and do that on your own at all. What I'm surprised about is that nobody else is doing it or helping you. That's wild.
When we do the balloon releases and stuff for Katelin, the police departments never showed up.
They've never been by her side to do any of it. We've done it by ourselves without their permission.
And I've invited them. I used to invite them, but I don't invite them anymore because they don't show up.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Hey Fiends, Leslie here. This next part of the interview gets a little bit more choppy, so I wanted to just fill you in because it was going to be a little hard to hear. Lisa goes on to tell us that she is going back to school to become a private investigator so that she can really take things into her own hands. She will learn what she can and can't do and can actually become a better help to find Katelin and even other families that need support in missing person cases, which we just thought this part was really awesome, especially that she could be a support system for families that might not be getting it from the local police department or the FBI. This is also where we start bragging about how awesome all of our fiends are. That's you guys. And we tell her that you will share and donate when and where you can. So, don't make us look like fools. Just kidding. Lisa tells us about how the Crime Solvers and the Aware Foundation, which are both private organizations, have helped them in ways that the police have not, which we just found bonkers. But anyway, the Crime Solvers donated up to $2,500 in a reward to anyone who comes forward with solid information on the whereabouts of Katelin. And then the Aware Foundation put up a billboard that has Katelin's missing photo and a number of where to call with any information. We will have all of that, like the exact number and everything like that at the end of this episode. Lisa tells us that they put this billboard up on the same route that Lisa's ex-husband and Katelin's stepdad, who is James Branton, it's the same route that he takes to work. And the Aware Foundation and Lisa and her family hope that if James saw this billboard every day, it would push him to be more helpful with the case, either by confessing something or literally just helping at all. We got really frustrated with this in the episode. But instead, all the billboard seemed to do was push him into an early retirement at the age of 42, which is also bonkers to me. Anyway, so now we're about to get back into the interview, and this is where we're going to talk a bit more about James. So thank you. Enjoy.
So obviously we're talking about your ex-husband, Katelin and Gabby's stepfather, James Branton.
Yes.
Right. So I want to ask a couple specifics about him as a person too, because I think that helps us to know who is this guy? What is he capable of? You know what I mean? What is he like as a human? Is he a nice guy? He doesn't seem to have a lot of other connections in this world, like friends or hobbies or anything.
He's a loner. He's a homebody. He doesn't do anything besides play video games.
He doesn't video games?
Either, yeah. He doesn't really have any friends either.
Huh.
He has 2 friends that he went to high school with, and he's only got one now, which I don't know if he's still friends with. I'm pretty sure he is, though.
Just
and his
one
mom,
friend.
And his mom.
So this is a man that has one friend and his mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Are these online video games? Does he talk to people online a lot?
It was like World of Warcraft. I don't know what he plays now, but that's what he used to play.
That's interesting because then he would have had probably online people he was playing. Leslie, I don't know much about this. Isn't that an online forum? Yeah. Just interesting. There could be people out in the world that have spoken to him that way. Never know.
Never thought of that before. So that's good.
So everything's worth looking at, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he might have an online friend he talks to every day that might know something.
He might have someone that he games with, and because you can talk through, I know anything with an online server, they all have ways that you talk to each other, whether it's via headset or a chat.
Well, don't they also have different names? It's not their real names either, right? So they're not going to know he's James Branton. Also.
No. Yeah, they wouldn't know it was him. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
That's going to be someone we talk to the FBI though.
Yeah. I hope it helps.
It's something I've never thought of.
I haven't either, yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, some people that seem to be loners like that, the only way they can communicate is through the internet because they don't have to make a person-to-person connection, It's easier.
Never thought of that before.
Yeah. Never thought of that.
So would you classify him as a paranoid person?
No, not paranoid. No.
I'd say narcissistic.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot.
He thinks he has to have the last word.
Yes.
The reason I ask is because I wonder does he have a documented distrust of authority? The cops are always going to get him. He doesn't.
Not that I know of. I mean,
he might now.
But I know before his dad and I guess him too was being investigated by the FBI for child pornography. But they said that back in 2002, before we got together, I guess they never brought charges. Apparently, it was somebody that was using his IP address.
Oh boy. And everything he used was encrypted, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a computer science guy. You remember when the Androids first came out, when they slid up and had the keyboard? We had them. And when he first got it, he put his own operating system on it. He thought he fried it. He thought he had to get a new one.
Whoops.
But he didn't fry it. But he put his own operating system on it.
Yeah, I used to tether with it before it was a thing.
Yeah, we used to tether with it before it was a thing.
What's tether?
To the computer and stuff.
Like tether to the computer and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I'm terrible with technology. He put his own operating system on. Did he say why he did that? That's not a common thing.
He just knew how.
Yep, he knew how.
So he just wanted to because he could?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how he is. That's how he is, yeah.
Interesting. Because a lot of people use them for privacy.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's kind of what I'm getting at is
And he doesn't like
somebody that
do anything with Apple products. He only likes Androids.
Yeah. That's a privacy thing, right? Leslie, you were saying that.
Yeah, you can mess around with the like non-Apple products a lot easier, make them your own, keep people out of stuff that you don't want them finding.
You can do whatever you want to Android.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I think that's interesting. That's that need for privacy to me is like, well, why do you need that much privacy?
I don't know. I never thought of that before.
Nope.
To me, and this is long after the fact, me looking with fresh eyes on this whole thing as a whole, that's kind of a red flag. If you're a guy that's like, I can't have anyone see any of my stuff ever, what's your stuff?
Hang on once. Yeah, that is true. Just text it to me or something.
I'm going to write this stuff down.
So
You said his father was investigated for child pornography?
him and his dad, because he had the same name. The same different middle names.
Okay. Did they find anything?
No, they didn't. They never got arrested. Nothing's on their criminal background or anything. They said that someone was using, I don't remember what state it was, using his IP address.
Okay.
All right. That's interesting to me because
But if that kind of stuff, maybe he made that IP address go to that guy's house.
Could be.
Because if he's very tech savvy, so I wonder if he could have done that back then.
I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past someone who had that kind of technology knowledge.
So that's something I can ask the FBI
Sure.
if they follow through.
One can hope.
I wanted to ask about his mom. So you said that he was very close to her. Now, how was your relationship with her? And was Katelin ever close to her?
Me and her relationship was not very good because when me and James were married, he actually made her leave and picked me over her because she was crazy.
Oh boy.
He has bipolar, and I believe and her mom has schizophrenia. So he has something.
Okay, so that would be our other question then, because you had mentioned in previous interviews that there was, like, before you guys got a divorce, there was that bout of like his anger and he was depressed and it wasn't going well. And then, got to the point where you had had enough. And then there was a year where he just kind of got better. Did he get some help or did it just did he just snap out of this phase?
It seemed like he got better. We weren't living together. We weren't together anymore. So when we seen him, it seemed like he was better. He could have hit it very well.
My perspective, she didn't see him every day.
Right.
So he may not have gotten better, but since they weren't together every day, he didn't have to show it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does, yeah. And so as far as you know, he was never formally diagnosed with either bipolar disorder or schizophrenia like his mom and grandmother were.
Right. We did try to go to marriage counseling, and he only went like 2 or 3 times, and he's like, I'm done. I got what I needed.
So
Good for you.
Not a big mental health advocate then.
Yeah.
And you said he was depressed and angry. How was he?
Towards the end of our relationship, me and the girls only seen him like an hour or 2 a week, maybe. And he made those hour or 2 or day or whatever it was rough. Whenever we knew he was getting up, we would end up leaving.
Wow.
Because we didn't want to deal with it. It was rough.
So he was like fought with you and
busting and yelling. He was busting and yelling at us all the time. We could never do anything right. And his mom really did like Katelin. She was a favorite over Gabby because she did not like Gabby at all.
Oh.
But his mom's crazy.
But she used to make up things about Gabby.
That was not true.
To try to get her in trouble. Like she would say Gabby would eat 2 lunches at school. Like she said Gabby would walk all the way home, get money, and walk back to school to have 2 lunches. And that's not possible in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was stuff like that you knew that did not make sense.
In 2nd grade. And a road trip, it takes you about 15, 20 minutes to get to school.
It would be stuff like that you knew it didn't make sense. But to her, it did.
Yeah.
And like that is not possible. How could she eat that much and then still have to walk and everything else? It was ridiculous.
Being in 2nd grade, walking from the elementary school to home and back, it takes about 20 minutes-ish, 15 to drive to get there. Not alone walking.
Oh, wow. What an odd thing.
Point of view, it was delusional.
Right. Well, that would make sense if she had a bipolar disorder. That kind of behavior would make sense.
Now, you have mentioned in previous interviews that she lived in a home that James owns or owned.
He recently just sold that house over the last couple months.
Oh.
He owned 3 houses. The one me and him lived in together, the one in Partlow by Pam's house, and the one that he inherited from his dad behind Spotsylvania Mall.
So where his mother lives or lived, was that close to where he was primarily living?
Not really. About 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one that his mother lived in was the one that Lisa, James, and the girls lived in.
Yeah.
Oh.
House he sold. So now she lives in the one
Behind the mall.
Behind Spotsylvania Mall.
So she moved in
where her luggage is found.
Oh. So he owns a property
That's
close.
not far.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's where the mom is living now.
Yes.
Okay. So then my next question is, they have only searched, the police that is, have only searched one property of his for evidence, yes?
Yes, the one he actually lives in.
Okay. And there are 2 more.
There was 2 more. Now there's 1 more because he sold the other one.
Huh.
But the one that he still owns, you're saying that was close to where the luggage was found?
That was supposedly had renters in it.
Yeah, that supposedly had renters at the top.
But within the past year or so, we realized the house never had renters in it, and it was vacant the whole time.
And he had some kind of renovations done to the basement because the basement used to have a
dirt floor.
A dirt floor.
Okay, so now I guess now, at first I did understand why maybe the police could not have gone over there, but now I don't know why they couldn't get a warrant to go over there.
That's what we thought too.
Yes.
We were the one that told them about it. They didn't even know.
Yeah.
We found this out ourselves.
Oh my God. He had a dirt floor basement that he recently had renovated in this property.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because someone sent it to us.
Yes. But this house was supposed to have been rented the whole time. Come to find out, it was up for rent like the day before she went missing, and it was taken down like the day after she went missing. It was something like that. But the house never had renters in it. It was supposedly vacant the whole time. It never had renters.
The cops never...
No.
They never put no. Apparently, they took just someone's word on it. We don't know for sure. That's what we're guessing. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
But it was never looked into.
No.
And even after we give this information, they seem interested, but we don't know for sure if they really looked into it or not.
Right.
I know in the state of New Jersey, I'm not totally familiar with Virginia law, that a search warrant, in order to get one, you need an affidavit that states that there is probable cause to search the property. But it's the property, not the owner.
Right.
So technically, both other properties be searched.
But they only searched his current residence. That's the residence that Lisa took Katelin to that morning she went missing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any reason to believe there would be anything of value in those other 2 properties?
Maybe, because I know the one that he sold, he did do a lot of renovations to that house where he sold it.
And backyard, in the fenced-in backyard, in the middle of it, it's got a big old stupid-looking planting thing there with flowers
like a garden
and stuff.
kind of looking thing.
Flower garden thing. They didn't used to be there.
No.
Is this basement concrete now?
Yes. I believe it's
the
concrete,
one on Salem Drive is
yes.
Concrete.
That was the one that was dirt.
Yep. Okay. That's just what I was wondering, what the renovation was, because, concrete is a little more permanent and that's different. Again, it's so interesting that no authorities find any of this information suspect. They haven't.
Yeah.
If they do, we don't know because they didn't say anything.
Right.
Did any of his neighbors ever come forward with any kind of information? Did he have neighbors? I know it's pretty rural out there.
The one he sold had a lot of neighbors, and they always thought that Maggie, which is his mom, is very crazy.
Okay.
And the other one he lives in, they keep an eye on him. They said because the last time we heard about the neighbors, they said that he doesn't go anywhere. He goes out places weird times at night, like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. There's nothing open but gas stations. Even Walmart's not open that time of night anymore. Where are you going? You don't work anymore.
He's only out like during the night hours, like weird night hours.
Maybe he's scared someone's going to recognize him. Maybe.
I'm sure, honestly, I'm sure that plays into it.
Yeah.
Did any of them hear anything or report seeing Katelin like that morning when you dropped her off? Did any neighbors have anything to offer?
They didn't know.
No, the only thing that they did is said that they did watch when they did the search warrant and everything. They were all watching.
Yeah, they were all watching. They were all outside watching. I would have too.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
But that's the thing we know. They did say that he's weird. He doesn't talk to nobody. He'll ride right by them. He's not friendly with anybody. He doesn't wave, like if they see anybody, stuff like that.
Have you heard of the True Crime Daily?
Yeah,
something like that. You know, they did it in Katelin, right?
They did an interview with who?
Crime Watch Daily?
Yes.
Did you watch it?
I may have. I watched a lot of them.
He actually, James tried to actually run them over and the camera crew over to get out of his yard.
Oh, I did not see that. I will, though, after we speak.
Yes. Because I told him, I gave him plenty of time. I said, if you don't come forward and talk to them about where Katelin is, I'm going to give everybody your name, your face. I'll give them everything they want of you.
And he said, that's going to ruin me. And Lisa's like, well,
that's your choice.
Like, he didn't put up Katelin's missing poster. His Facebook page doesn't have any information about her going missing. He never engaged in your search at all.
He did friend me on Facebook for about 3 or 4 days, and I was looking at it. And then he unfriended me. So he was probably looking for something, but that's fine.
Well, what do you have to hide,
Yeah, I don't care.
Wow.
But he first went missing. He didn't attend to any of the searches. He didn't attend to any of it.
And he knew when they were. I told him.
He didn't come to any of it.
And according to police records, he also did not try to contact Katelin at all after she went missing.
Right.
Yep.
Because you guys were texting and calling, but he didn't do any of that.
We were told there were pages upon pages of us giving out her phone number to have people call her
and text her.
He's the only one that never called or texted to see where she was or what she was doing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, when you don't need to.
Exactly.
Right.
That is.
Because we come from a really big family and we told everybody.
Good.
Everybody her phone number.
We have lots and lots of family. And every one of them were trying to call her.
And they're her friends of friends. Everybody was trying to call her. They had pages of people trying to call her or text her. Where are you, Katelin?
Yep.
I wanted to ask also about her friends.
Uh-huh.
So she was at a gathering with friends the night before she disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah.
One, it seems like it took the police kind of a while to talk to them.
Yeah.
And two, do you know these friends?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Do you like them? Are they trustworthy? Are they good friends?
Yeah. I mean, Charlie, she still supports and trying to find Katelin and shares her missing flyers. She's come to events and everything.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as you know, these people have volunteered any kind of information they have about Katelin, and they've been very helpful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. I know that in one of the last text messages that she sent you, she said she was with a friend.
Yeah, but I don't know whose friend that would be. Yeah, I don't think text messages came from her.
Okay, yeah.
2 of them back to back. She doesn't do that.
And it's not the cadence of her texts, you said.
That's
right.
Okay, interesting. Because that's what I was wondering. One, I had read that you said they were from her phone, but that doesn't necessarily mean her thumbs were typing it.
Right.
I just wondered if there was any more on whoever this friend, who's this friend? Who are you with then?
Nope.
Okay.
I think he cloned her phone. And that's why his phone was pinging from Partlow Towers and hers wasn't. I think he cloned her phone and took her phone and left his at home.
Yeah, because if he doesn't have his phone isn't super glued to his head, it could be at his house and he's not.
And he can have multiple. He usually has multiple phones laying around.
Oh, really?
He can make it so he can clone Katelin's phone and whatever. You know what I mean?
That is a paranoid person to me. Why do you need so many phones?
I mean, he always had a spare.
Okay, that's an expensive backup.
They were all usually little cheapy ones. So he had little cheap Android ones you can get on Amazon. Yeah, just $120.
He'd buy a lot from Amazon or eBay.
Yeah.
That's also interesting. Wonder what those records look like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 phones at that time. So I don't think he just had the one.
And when the came and they did their search warrants. He asked the police department if he could have the hard drive off the computer.
No.
And another thing is he's never asked for his stuff back.
All these phones and his computers, he doesn't want them back.
Never asked for them back. He asked for them once because they said something, hey, you never asked for your stuff back. And then his mom called and asked for his stuff back.
But he's never really wanted it back.
No.
Well, even when they took his vehicles to search, he went out and bought another one.
They told me they were going to have for a couple of days, but he went out and bought another one.
He bought another car?
Yeah. Right after, yeah, because he needed something to drive because they took his.
Instead of waiting to get it back, he went and bought another one.
Yeah, that sounds just like it. Just speculating here, but it feels like unhinged behavior in a sense. Just if there is something more going on.
Well, my thing is with DNA and everything, we know for a fact Katelin was dropped off at his house that morning. We know that Katelin, she twirls her finger here around her finger and she pulls it out. She's always done that. A little baby. She's done it her whole life. Yeah. Okay. She has had bald spots. And yes. At one time from it. My thing is she does that so much. She had bald spots. She doesn't have as many now when she went missing, but she still would pull her hair out. She'd wrap her hair around her finger and pull it out. She's always done that. We know for a fact Katelin was there. We don't know if she ever got in a vehicle, or whatever, but we know she was in the house. Yes. So why, when they did this search on that house, December 31st of 2015, why was there no kind of DNA whatsoever of her being there? Yeah. He cleaned up. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Where was her hair?
Yes,
there was no little piece of hair of her anywhere.
Yeah, it would be in the car.
He doesn't really clean. So in order for the house to be that clean, I think his mom cleaned it. Yes. Because that's how his mom cleans.
Okay.
So Katelin that day, his mom knows exactly what happened to her. Yep.
Okay, that's interesting.
For me, that's suspect. For her DNA, her hair not to be in that house, to me, that's suspect. That he cleaned up and covered it up. He knows exactly what happened to her.
That's wild. Also, that's information that isn't included anywhere. They just say, oh, we didn't find any DNA. Not like
they didn't find anything. His cars, his house, his bed sheets, nothing. Her DNA was not found there at all.
That's funny because that's just the phraseology of that. Oh, they didn't find any DNA. They don't go into like, no, they didn't find anything.
That's just what they tell us, and that could be it. Herself. That could be it. Because they know I'm a blabbermouth. I'll tell people.
It's your information.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, that's so weird.
That's suspect. If you did nothing, then where's her DNA at? You don't clean that well. So where's it at?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, there would be a fingerprint, a hair, a skin cell, a smudge, a fiber from her clothes, something would be there.
Right.
Huh.
Okay. Well, that's really good information.
That is really good information.
Yeah. We also wanted to ask, since we were talking about a couple of like text messages before, we wanted to ask about some clarifications on some timestamps on text messages. So Holly, I know you have that in front of you.
Yeah, different sources have things kind of ordered slightly differently. And I just wanted to get from you the timeline of your text messages and the text messages that Katelin's fiance Amber had received. Also in Amber, we were very confused for a minute.
Amber's time in Arizona is like 3 hours different than ours.
Oh,
that's right.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour difference, right?
Yeah. So did you hear from Katelin first, quote unquote Katelin, whoever had Katelin's phone, or did Amber hear from her first?
Amber.
Okay. That's kind of what we needed to know. So Amber heard from her, and then Amber immediately contacted you because it was a strange thing to have happen.
He says something's going on with the Katelin's flight. And Lisa was like, she's only got one ticket. What's wrong with the flight? Kind of thing. Yeah. She only had one way ticket home.
And the airport could tell you if that flight had been delayed or canceled. I assume
And I had called that day. I'm Pam. I called that day. She didn't get on the flight. She didn't make it to the airport. We paged her. We had called the airline. She wasn't at the metro. She wasn't nowhere. Nope.
Okay.
And the flight left on time, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So not even that. I mean, obviously none of this is true, but it's from the
change ticket, either try to delay it for another day or anything. Nobody tried to change it or nothing. Nobody tried to cash her back out to get money, nothing.
And her cell phone pinged not there anyway, right?
The furthest it went down that way was like Stafford, right?
Stafford Courthouse.
Yeah.
Still ways away.
It's still about
Okay.
40 miles away, I think.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Ish, somewhere.
Okay. Interesting. And then the last time you heard from her, any of her devices was like 7:00 that night. Yes.
15, yeah.
Okay.
And that was her last ping was 7:15, Stafford Courthouse.
So after that, all communication off.
Yes.
One other clarification I wanted is, I think this was on Disappeared. They say that she was communicating with Amber via Facebook Messenger, not actual text message. Is that
Yes.
okay? Did they confirm it was via her phone? Because that can be anywhere.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
Let me write that down.
Because that's also interesting. I mean, you can sign on to any computer in anywhere or anyone else's phone. I could go onto Leslie's phone right now and get onto my Facebook and message you.
Well, her password was like some type of her and Amber's initials with their anniversary date or something like
So
that.
not
Was
like,
it was at one time. I don't know if it still was or what, but it was at one time. I don't remember if it was the last password, but at one point that was the password.
so not like Fort Knox to crack.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's interesting that she used a different messaging system to get in touch with Amber. Also, Leslie and I, through our investigation, discovered that Facebook Messenger is an encrypted messaging app.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But apparently it is.
She was using Kick too.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that too. That's the app that she was using that the police cannot trace, Kick?
Yes.
Well, we used Kick at my house when we were living in Caroline County because sometimes we just wouldn't have cell service and stuff like that. So that would send better messages. So we would use Kick at the time.
That is also interesting because it only has ever reported that Katelin also used encrypted messaging apps to talk to people, not why.
Right. That's one of the reasons why we had Kick at the time. I don't know who else she talked to, but we did have Kick, didn't we?
Yeah, we all did because we all communicated together.
Right.
Okay. So that's not necessarily out of the norm then for her to be messaging that way.
And me, Gabby, and Pam, we use Facebook Messenger all the time to message each other.
Okay.
Oh, so do I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the way it's reported some places, it makes it sound like she was doing something secretive. But the way you're talking about it, it wasn't at all.
I don't think she was. I mean, Katelin could be a little secretive about things and some naive, but I don't think it was anything like that.
But Katelin, she could never hide things very well.
No.
So
she was a crier. She cried about everything.
Yeah, she cried about everything.
She always has. If she was upset, you know.
Yeah, you would know.
Oh, and before she disappeared, there were no indications that she was unhappy.
No, none. You would know with her how she is.
And she and Amber were happy together?
As far as I know, they didn't seem unhappy.
And there was this thing on there that maybe she told James that she cheated on her and that's why she didn't come back, or I think James did the messages, and I think he picked one things that people fight about. It's either money or cheating, and that's what he picked.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah. And James knows that Katelin has cheated on people before and Amber before. So it's not out of the ordinary.
It's not far-fetched for him to say something like that. But think about it. Cheating and money is what most people fight about.
Yeah.
So it'd be far-fetched for him to make up something.
Right.
So we're under the impression that Katelin did cheat on Amber the night before, but did that not actually happen?
It could have.
Oh, okay.
But upset and be like, oh, I don't want to go home. It's happened before. And even if she didn't go home, she knew she could stay here with us. Yeah. She always knew that.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that there's a history of cheatings, because that, again, it makes it seem like this was this big event and then she was like, it had never happened before and it was awful.
That's right.
Right. And that's not true.
Huh.
But regardless, Katelin knew she could always come home.
Yeah.
So for her to go missing and be going like this, it's out of her normal.
Yeah.
So she wasn't going to go back with Amber. She knew 100% she could have stayed home with us.
She knew that.
Okay.
Gabby having Landon, we thought she was going to actually end up coming home
Because of
and finishing her hair here. We think she would have went back and stayed for a month or two and then wanted to come back to see Landon and see him grow up.
Okay. So my other question then would be, just because it seems like we are getting kind of different storylines from some of these other podcasts and just the media, I would say. So when you dropped Katelin off that morning and James was going to take her to the airport, in other tellings, it was like she was excited to see him and she couldn't wait. And that was going to be a great, like, they hadn't talked in a while. She hadn't seen him in a while. But do you remember how she actually felt going over there?
She was fine about it. She was excited.
Okay.
And it seemed like I said before, it seemed like he had changed and we weren't arguing with him anymore. And he gave her money and birthdays and stuff like that.
He still talked to the girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though he wasn't their dad, he still talked to them. So she was excited to see them.
He still went to their school recitals and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Lisa split up.
Yeah, he still did. If I didn't have money for groceries or the electric bill, whatever, he helped pay for it.
Wow. Huh.
So, because if I needed money, I called him.
Okay.
That's what he told me to do. If I ever need anything, call him.
Oh, absolutely.
So I did.
You need help, get help. That's how it goes.
And no problems of going with him.
Okay.
Huh.
Because Pam's husband was the one that was supposed to take her to the airport. But he had every time at work because he's working at a factory.
Mm.
So the only person I could think of at the time was James. And she was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to the DC area?
Only a few times. My husband lived there for a while in DC.
You know, right?
Yeah, it's very congested.
That's why I'm going to help me take her down there and pick her up. I'm not good.
I don't blame you. And you said you like the Springfield Mall was not a hangout for her.
No, we didn't even know the mall
We
existed.
didn't even know it existed.
Never heard it before until then.
So why would she want to go to a mall that she's never heard of and use the metro that she's never used before?
By herself.
Doesn't make sense.
Especially if she was a person prone to kind of needing guidance through new experiences. Like you said, if she had a mistake when she was cooking, she had to call you.
Yeah.
There was no way she could have done it by herself. And James knew that.
Yes. The last time she rode a train, we were in DC and
She was like 5
or 6 years old or so, and she called it the Boogie Woogie Choo Choo train. How would she, being that little, to go to be 19 and be able to navigate the metro system? There's
With
no
her
way.
bags across all those babies.
Grab all those bags across the traffic, everything. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, the subway confuses me.
This is the first
time she's traveled by herself.
Oh, that's the first time she's ever traveled by herself.
Yes.
Also interesting.
Right. So in that case, it would be even more pertinent that she just gets straight to the airport. I would feel that way as a parent, just get my child right to the airport, even if they were going to be there early.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said he had to be at work at 3 o'clock. I said, that's fine. As long as she gets there. I don't care if she gets there early, as long as she gets on her flight. Let me know when you get there. Let me know when she gets through security. Let me know when she gets on the plane. Let me know when you get home.
You want to know all the steps till she got on the plane.
Yep.
Right. But then, as we know, the police went through all the footage to see where his car was in that area, and they couldn't find his car anywhere there. So they aren't even sure that he actually drove her there.
His car wasn't there. He wasn't there, and she wasn't there.
Right.
Yep. They said they don't even think she made it out of Spotsylvania County.
That's what they told us.
Yeah. I know. I'm starting to feel that way now too.
There are several, if you just do a blanket Google search of Katelin's name and her case, there are several hits that come up that say, oh, recent reports say that they discover she was at the mall.
No, they didn't.
There's also been things that say that she's been found alive
or dead.
Yeah.
But when they found out that they never saw her stuff on the mall security cameras, we weren't allowed to tell nobody. They wanted to keep that secret.
Most of the stuff that we've talked to you about is supposed to be kept secret. So just about everything.
That didn't come out, but the cameras and stuff like that, I think, until the Disappearance show.
Yeah. That's when actually people called us liars. We couldn't say anything, but people were calling us liars, but we weren't allowed to say anything.
Wow.
Yes. What the police said, the police were wrong. The police were wrong. Well, you're lying. They said they found him at the mall. No, they didn't. Well, that's what they said. They did not.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting information about that out there, so that's why I wanted to ask you.
Right.
So we're gonna have to wrap up in a couple minutes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, first, is there anything else that you want to get out into the world that we haven't talked about that you feel is important?
Anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We come up with new discoveries we need to talk about, though.
Great. That's wonderful. And how our audience, like I said, is all helpers. How can we help?
Keep her name out there, her face out there. Share everything you have on her.
Great.
That's what's going
to help the most. And we do have Facebook pages for Katelin.
Yes.
Two of them.
I am on them both, and I will put links to them in, and I'll actually make sure I get you guys invited to our Facebook group, because we have one.
Yes, definitely.
We'll have tons of pictures and stuff out. And if there's any pictures of Katelin that you like that are not like circulated out in the world, just send them to me and I'll put them in our photo suite.
Sounds good. I will.
Awesome. So yeah, if you have a GoFundMe, if you have a foundation, if you have anything else, make sure you send that to us, and we will provide the links in our show notes and all of our social media for all of our fiends, so that they can do whatever they can to help you.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for talking to us today. And we look forward to getting your info out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Oof.
Woo.
A lot of things to consider. Many things we'll probably talk about in Host-Mortem.
So many things to talk about in Host-Mortem. And on our Facebook board, if you want to have a chat, Lisa's in there. And I think we tried to get Pam in there. I hope we got her.
I don't know. Pam, if you can join our Facebook group, please do that. I had a hard time.
For some reason, we had an issue with inviting people. Yeah. So if you have questions, I'm sure Lisa would be happy to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, of the utmost respect, please. We are going to be very respectful.
Yes.
You guys always are. I don't necessarily have to say that, but I have to say that.
Mm-hmm. And what were those Facebook pages?
Yeah, so if you want to join the Facebook group, they are Find Katelin Akens and Find Katelin. Her name is spelled Katelin Akens. Also, I mentioned the Spotsylvania Crime Solvers. It is Solvers. Is offering a $2,500 U.S. reward for any information which leads to the discovery of Katelin Akens. So, if you have any additional information, please call the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office at 540-582-7115. And we will be helping raise funds to help Katelin's case in any way we can. Leslie and I talked about perhaps tossing the money we get from our Runaway shirts to the tally of her reward. Whatever we can do, we're going to do it.
Right.
So, toast?
Toast.
I'm going to first toast Katelin, obviously.
To Katelin.
And next to Lisa and Pam. Thank you guys so much for that interview and for everything you've done. God, we're always thinking about you. And we'll be thinking of Katelin whenever we see a banana Laffy Taffy.
Yes.
Cheers, ladies. Oh, and to Katelin's sister, Gabby, and Landon. Cheers, guys. All right. I know that was a lot, but thanks for sticking with us through all of it. And I can't really sign off with a "we would be dead" in reference to Katelin here, because we really don't know right now that she is. She could very well be out there alive, and I sincerely hope she is listening to this, and I sincerely hope she contacts her family. Katelin, if you are out there, please contact your loved ones. But I will say that if we personally went radio silent for more than 2 days, we would be dead.
Thank you for listening to the We Would Be Dead podcast. Hit subscribe now to never miss an episode. Rate and review our show on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Would Be Dead Pod. And join our Facebook group to discuss the podcast and more.
If you have any additional information, please call the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office at 540-582-7115.